Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Happy June 1st. Happy Pride. Ooh. Pride month came upon us so quickly. The month of May is over. Oh, no, more like this. Woo, 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 month of May. Your mortgage is due. Your rent is due. A bill is due. Let this be a reminder. First of all, can you guys hear me, see me, all that good stuff? Happy Pride. Happy Pride month. Happy June 1st. Happy, what else? What else are we celebrating today? Oh, our fundraiser. Speaking of Pride, our fundraiser starts today. Last year, we raised over $6,000. Come on. All right. $6,000 for the New York City, the center, the LGBTQI plus center. We are aiming this year, I said this last year, well, if we could raise $6,000 in 2 weeks, so remember we started our Pride Month fundraiser late last year, but we raised $6,000 together. If you check out any of my latest videos, you'll see the fundraiser posted on the side of the video. After this live replay crew, you'll see it posted somewhere along the side of this video. Donate what you can, share the video to help us get to that goal. I know we can do it. By the end of June, we will raise over $10,000 for the center. 100% of your donation goes to the center and all of the amazing things that they do over there. I've told you countless times, it was a safe haven for me when I was younger, in my 20s, needing a place to go where they have all kinds of different services, helping not just the LGBT community, yes, that's their focus, but helping the community. And as you know, with this current administration, there have been all kinds of cutbacks and just things to stop them from being able to provide the services that they have been able to provide to the community of New York City for years. 100% of your donation goes to the center through YouTube giving, okay? So shout out to YouTube for doing that. Again, we are doing that this month. So thank you to anyone that's already donated. I appreciate it. So happy Pride Month. Ooh, come on. Be in my pom-pom shorts, rainbow colored, okay? Happy Pride Month, guys. And shout out to all the allies. Shout out to everyone that's in the community. And for those that are part of our community, we appreciate you guys. All right. I know we have a lot of allies in the building. And if you're not, what you doing here? Happy Real Housewives of Atlanta recap Monday. Yes, I have an appointment after this, guys, so we cannot waste any time. Okay. So let's just get into this. How would you rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10? There is a live chat poll on YouTube, but if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch or on X, let us know how you would rate this week's episode. Honestly, Angela, I know some of you might not like Angela and you feel like the fandom is a little overhyped. I don't think so. Angela's living up to the hype. This is the second fight that Angela had this season. We're only on episode 9. That has been epic. Like, oh, I'm like Rihanna. I'm not getting into an argument with Angela. But when we talk about people digging up stuff on people and plotting and planning, Angela might have been doing that. She's definitely Inspector Gadget over here. Do you guys believe the rumors about Shamia? She's not the first person to say these things about Shamia. And I'm not even just talking about Britt Edie. We've heard these alleged rumors about Shamia for years. Okay, so I don't know if any of them are true. I'm just going to say that. But I find it interesting that it keeps coming up. Okay. Hey, Lenora's watching on Facebook. What's going on? I'm seeing 8s. I'm seeing 7s. I'm seeing 8.5s. Okay. How would I rate this week's episode? I mean, honestly, just because of the way it ended, an 8.5. That 8.5. At first, watching the episode from the beginning, and then I'm just like, okay, this is okay episode. It felt a little bit filler in the beginning. And then I was just like, by the end, I was like, no, I got to up it. It was definitely an interesting battle between Shamia and Angela. 2 Tauruses, and we just ended Taurus season. Shout out to the Geminis. It's Gemini season now. But yeah, Tish gave it an 8. All right. Moving on. Guys, keep liking the video if you haven't already. We already have almost 1,000 of you watching on multiple platforms, but we don't have the amount of likes. Liking the video is an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels that are talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta or Real Housewives or pop culture, because you know we don't just talk housewives here on the channel. We talk about everything in pop culture. Over the weekend, I dropped a couple of really cool podcast episodes for you guys. Club Kempire, you have a new episode. That is our Apple Podcast paid subscription. We also dropped a sort of combination of some of the hot topics from Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. That also dropped on the podcast exclusively. We also dropped the audio for my collaboration with them, Tarot. If you want to hear a psychic reading on some of your favorite pop stars from Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, and Michael Jackson. We pulled cards. I asked all the questions. It was a fun key. So shout out to all of you that are part of our community that were there on Friday. But now you can hear it on Apple and Spotify. So make sure you go check that out right now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let's get into this. Let me get into my notes over here this is episode 9. The mid-season trailer came out. If you want to know my thoughts on the mid-season trailer, I did do a video a few days ago when the mid-season trailer dropped, I think on Friday. So if you want to hear my thoughts, I played the mid-season trailer for you, the audio at least, and I react to it. So be sure to check that out. Oh, thank you, Angel. I also dropped, I was busy this weekend. I was doing a lot this weekend. Angel says, Kempire, I like the Pilates video you dropped. Yeah, I have a bunch of videos from Pilates in my phone that I'm like, I need to post them. So that was one of them. So if you missed it, go give that a like and a comment. You can watch that both on YouTube and on TikTok and and on Instagram. So if you want to see a little bit about my Pilates skills. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. So as you know, last week's episode, first of all, it ended with a fight between Portia and Kelly. And I said to you, I feel like something was left out of the cutting room floor. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe Kelly was intoxicated. It was definitely giving like she's acting big and bad for no reason. Because I don't understand why Kelly involved herself in K. Michelle's argument. It doesn't make sense to me. And this is not a page over here that immediately hates Kelly. Because you know there are people that just do not like Kelly. I just don't understand why she involved herself. And I get it. Her fight between her and Portia in regards to the married pastor of it all. But it seems as if they agreed to just kind of put that to bed and move forward. So it didn't make sense to me with Kelly chiming on in, making these little comments during their conversation. It didn't involve you. It didn't need to involve you. So I don't even blame Portia for getting crunk. Portia's just like, you're not gonna be putting that glass in my face. That's another thing too. If people start, because you remember the last time that happened with Portia went black and attacked, and it felt like it was going in that direction. Probably she was like, you're not gonna sit here and sun me, newbie. Ooh. I think that's the energy she was getting. But Kelly getting crunk for no reason, I was like, what's going on? And this all started because Kelly decided to say that Portia effed every Nigerian in Atlanta. We're not going to argue whether or not that's true. Okay. But Kelly getting involved in this way, it was not needed. This was a fight between, not even a fight, a conversation between Portia and K. Michelle. But did they sit around and plot and plan this? Could be. It's very clear that there are teams right now. And I can't say that the other ladies, like Portia, Cynthia, Phaedra, or Drew, really are creating a team. I think it's just naturally they know each other. They're cool. I feel as if Shamia, Kelly, Pinky, and K. Michelle decided to form a team. Okay? But anyway. So Kelly is going off on Portia. Portia's just like, oh, you're not going to do that. They're trying to escort Portia away. And Kelly is talking big and bad. I love how people can talk big and bad when people are holding everybody back. And you know that they're not going to allow Portia. And Portia would have a lot to lose if she got physical again on this show. So Kelly says she's not the one. She's screaming, I'm not the one. She says, I'll smack a bee in here. And I'm like, and we know Kelly's going through a lot right now. She's not really talking about it, but we know that she's going through her divorce and what she's going through. And she literally says right before this, when she came, she was really emotional. And I think she might have been drinking a lot. I think some of that motivation and that crunkness that she had, that, puffing out her chest, I think some of that was alcohol induced. Anyone else think that? I definitely think, remember, I already told you about Pisces. They got to be careful with the drink and the substances. Okay? Way of Keith says, say what you want, but Kelly wasn't flinching. She was talking big and bad because, they're not really flinching because they know production's there. They know security's there. They also know that Portia's not really trying to risk her job again by getting physical. So there are a whole combination of reasons why Kelly could talk big and bad. Plus, I think she was inebriated because she was talking big and bad. She's like, I might be 5 feet, but I got 6'7" energy. I was like, since when? But isn't she from Baltimore? She's from the DMV, right? Is it Baltimore she's from originally? So then I'm like, wait a minute. Kelly might be small, but she might know how to fight. Just saying. I don't know. GC says liquid courage. I think it was a combination. I think it was a combination of all of those things. All right. Chef Lorraine. Hey, Chef Lorraine. Chef Lorraine says Kelly has Napoleon syndrome. The Napoleon complex. Okay. Makai says she's from Baltimore, not the DMV. We don't. Well, damn. Okay. We're not getting into that. I know that Baltimore is not part of the DMV. I'm asking, is she part of the DMV? I know she's from that area. The DMV, or is she from Baltimore? Having big fun in Baltimore. Okay, here y'all go with Baltimore isn't the DMV camp. I know she's from that area. I wasn't sure if it was Baltimore or the DMV. Calm down. Okay, calm down, Baltimore. Look, no, calm down, DMV. Y'all get so in y'all feelings about that. Why? Y'all both in the same state. Most of y'all Maryland. So I'm just saying, stop. Baltimore isn't Maryland. Okay? Exactly. Mr. Belleback said, here we go. Baltimore and the DMV are the same to me. That's what he said. Get him. Look, get him. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all our members. Today is a members only live chat. We do this at least once a month. It's the first of the month. So, yeah, shout out to all of our members. You can become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. Here y'all go with the Baltimore arguments. I'm not even getting involved. Okay, I'm not getting involved. But anyway, so she's from Baltimore, so she might got hands, right? Exactly. Kendra says, "Calm down, take a Xanax." Just saying. All right, we're not really telling you to do that. We're just making jokes. Okay, making jokes. All right, y'all already arguing in the. I'm just gonna move on. Let me move on because y'all get so distracted, and we have a lot to talk about before I get out of here. Okay. So Portia says the man is married and Kelly's mad that she got her lick back. I was like, damn. Angela then says, did y'all hear? If y'all not paying attention and you're not rewinding, this is why it takes me so long to watch and recap this show, because I'm rewinding all the time. Because I'm just like, wait, what's that? Angela in the background say, who is he? She's literally in the moment is like, who is he? So in the confessional, Angela says, who is he? Because I don't know. And it sounds like Portia doesn't either. Angela is a perfect addition to Real Housewives. I'm not even saying Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's a perfect addition to the Real Housewives franchise. She is hilarious. She's in the moment. Who is he? As they're escorting Portia away. She's like, who is he? In her confessional, Angela's like, I don't know, because I don't know. And I don't think Portia knows either. I thought that was funny. All right. So Portia says, now, did y'all notice when they were talking about this guy possibly being Nigerian? Oh, about this guy and Portia effing all the Nigerians. And it seems as if Portia said that this guy, the pastor, is also Nigerian. Did y'all catch that? I was like, or was she just saying that? Because I'm wondering, like, is he also Nigerian? Because now we can really start piecing the clues together. I don't know. Because a lot of y'all had speculation. We're not going to speculate on who the pastor could be. All right? Because a lot of people are speculating that off of who Phaedra's following, because apparently the pastor is a client of Phaedra's. And I told you guys, we can't speculate like that because she might not follow all of her clients. Just saying. But all right. Yeah. All right. Moving on from this. Guys, as I'm doing that, don't forget to like today's video. It's an easy free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Thank you so much, Breezy, for being a member and for the $20 super chat. Let me shimmy. All right. Breezy says, I'm not saying that P is plotting on K, but just last season, she made up a lie about Drew sleeping with Dennis for a storyline because she couldn't film in her house or talk about Simon. P is mean girl, but gets away with it. Look, I'm not, and I've said this countless times when we talk about this, I'm not saying that these housewives don't plot and plan. We know they plot and plan. However, I just don't think that's the situation here. Because now Now K Michelle's saying that Portia wasn't the one, the mastermind behind the plan. Drew was. And the master plan was about associating her with Black, who's now being sued for apparently scamming, allegedly, these women out of money. Okay. The other part of the plot was that K Michelle's vajayjay, old rumor about her vajayjay stankin'. And then the other one, the third one, was that she has long toes. K Michelle makes this stuff up, y'all. This is why I can't ride with her, because it feels like every time she tells this story, it grows legs. It's other things. She starts adding on it. She's one of those, remember those kids? You probably know one of these kids. Maybe you have one of these kids that just makes stuff up. That's the energy I'm getting from K Michelle. She's making this up as she goes along. But that's me. Thank you so much, Breezy, for the super chat. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra says, Kelly says her beef is with Portia is from a live when Portia spoke on the new cast. All Portia said was, I don't know about Kelly. I saw that clip. I literally saw that clip the other day, last week. And I agree with you. If Kelly's saying that her gripe with Portia was because, remember, during filming the last season, and we weren't introduced to Kelly yet, and Portia was doing her Amazon Lives, she said that Portia made like this slick comment about her, and they replayed it. And I was like, that really wasn't a slick comment. All she was like, she's like, I don't know about Kelly. I don't know about her. That's not enough for you to have the energy that you've been having for Portia this time. And look, this is coming from me. Some people think I'm a Portia stan, but I'm really not. Okay, I'm blocked. Okay. And now K Michelle has unfollowed me. I already told you she unfollowed me on Instagram, not blocked. She unfollowed me. And then she unfollowed me on Twitter. Remember I told you she was following me on Twitter? I never followed her back. And she unfollowed me today or this weekend. I noticed. Cambridge, I knew it was coming. And the thing is, when she followed me on Instagram while she was filming the season, I was like, let's see how long this lasts. But I was waiting. I was really waiting to see how the season went. And because who knows, I could have been like, K Michelle is a star. I had hopes for K Michelle. I was one of the few people that had high hopes for K Michelle on this show. And now I'm just like, oh, this is not ending well for you. This is not ending well for you. All right. She unfollowed me on all the platforms. It's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings when you unfollow me. I don't care. I really don't. I'm only pointing it out because we're talking about this show. At least she didn't block me though. I know she's still checking out the content, because she's checking out everyone and what they're saying about her on this show. It's all right, K Michelle. You're sensitive. You're a Pisces. I didn't expect anything less. All right. Let's move on. Okay. So Portia says the married man might be Nigerian. Not sure. Portia then also says that she thought that Kelly was like a big boss, when she first met her. But she's now discovered that Kelly is a follower. And now she has beef with her because of K Michelle. I agree. And then when you show the back and forth between Portia and K Michelle and how Kelly was chiming in, it's like, why are you chiming in? Let this be an argument between the two of them. I don't understand. But I think she was inebriated. I think she was like drunk, and that's why she was speaking. Those type of people that speak when not even being spoken to? Okay? Exactly. GC says, hold on. And that's what they want. GC says she unfollows you because you aren't drinking the Kool-Aid. Have I ever? Okay, when I was a kid, I used to drink Kool-Aid. But yeah, no. Anyway, this reunion's going to be interesting, though. They keep talking about the reunion. Speaking of pride. Ooh, okay, the voice is ooh-oohing today. Speaking of pride. So, I did a video last week talking about this clip from the Shade Room Live that Shamia did. And Shamia was asked to play this game to react to all the people in her cast. And I told you her reactions were so lame. Just as like, this is an opportunity for Housewives to really just show up and be funny and witty. And it just wasn't. So when she was asked about Portia, she said, Happy Pride. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think that it was a big deal. Well, apparently Portia did not like it. Because Portia probably still trying to understand for herself her gayness or bisexuality. You know what I mean? So she might have thought that was shade, or maybe something does happen during the season why she thinks that that's shade. I didn't think Shamia saying Happy Pride was shade. I think it was just, she's now gay, so that's what she's now gay, but she's part of the community. So shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV. So Portia was in the comment section. See, Portia, you got me blocked, but I still get to see the comments. Shout out to all the blogs. So don't block all the blogs, Portia. I need to see everything. Okay, thanks. So Portia has responded to Shamia's, I guess, shade. I don't think it was shade. Portia responds and says, Happy Pride to you too. And then she puts a corn emoji because she's calling her corny. Just a short while until reunion. See you soon. And then she puts the rainbow. Ooh! I don't know. Look, some people are saying that this was, she was giving too much in regards to her response to Shamia. Because again, I don't think it was that big of a deal. But I do find it funny because everybody's ready for Shamia at this reunion. I know some people are like, no, Shamia is going to be prepared for this reunion. I don't know, y'all. Anyone else worried? Like, I'm anxious for Shamia for this reunion because between Angela, between Portia, who's done this a long time, Drew, I'm worried for her. Anyone else worried for Shamia in this reunion? She better look good. She is a beautiful woman. I was looking at her during that scene with her and Angela. I'm just like, Shamia is such a beautiful woman. Skin, hair, body, smile. You know what I mean? But so lame. Like, I want to be able to root for her. I wish I could be that person that lets pretty privilege through and let that invoke my mind into mind control. I am a Shamia fan. I love Shamia. Shamia is fantastic. Damn, I sound like Simon Gobadia. Oh, Shamia is fantastic. She's so beautiful. I can't see anything wrong with Shamia because she's so beautiful. I can't be that person. I can't. It's not how I'm made up. Ruth says, yep, I'm worried for her too. T says, I'm worried for Kay, Shamia, and Kelly. I'm not worried for K Michelle. You know why I'm not worried for K Michelle? K Michelle is so delusional that she will think that she's winning even when she's not. So I'm not worried for K Michelle. Okay. I'm not worried for her. She is so delusional. She will be at that reunion and come out of that reunion, mind you, probably slaughtered. Come out of the reunion. I think I had a good reunion. I'm not worried for K Michelle. K Michelle is so delusional. She won't even know. Okay. And she probably would be, drinking her whiskey and stuff like that. She won't even know. All right. Top viral clip says Candy needs to come back so that Shamia can have a leader. No. Look, no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. This needs to be Shamia's last season. And I'm not one to say that. I said it last season for Shamia because I knew that it wasn't going to change. And it just got worse for Shamia. Anyways, let me move on. How did I get on Shamia? We were talking about Kelly and Portia. All right. So Portia says that she's a big, I can't say these words. Anyway, she's a big effing flop. There we go. Kelly ends up leaving because she's talking all crunk, like she wants to fight up in Phaedra's house. And Shamia ends up leaving with her. Like, they are ride or die for each other. They were screaming and twerking in that damn Sprinter bag. Okay. So Kelly says she doesn't want the old her to come out. Okay. Baltimore her? Okay. All right. Angela said she made it her business because K Michelle talked about how when she was last in Atlanta, the girls were mean to her. So she said she made it her business. And apparently she sat down with K Michelle a few days before. But she says she doesn't want anyone to feel like she did last year in regards to this group. Angela says it probably was hard for K Michelle to hear when Drew said, which is very observant of Angela, because I don't know if people heard what Drew said, because Drew sort of just, it rolled off the tongue. But Angela says it probably was hard for K Michelle to hear Drew say, "You don't belong." Ooh. Do you guys think that Drew should have said that? Like, that was over the top? I don't think that was over the top, because I feel like that's an observation because of the level of insecurity that we're seeing from K Michelle. I probably would have, we've all have said it based on what we're seeing. We're like, it's clear that she feels like she's not the top dog. She's feeling insecure. She's a little delusional. So when Drew said it, I was like, and there it is. And there it is. You don't belong. So K Michelle says that Drew is a funny face girl. She's a face girl. First of all, I don't know why y'all keep coming for Drew and her looks. Kelly did it. Now K Michelle's doing. She's a funny face girl. K Michelle, y'all can't be throwing rocks in glass houses. You changed your entire face and body because you weren't happy with the way that you looked. And I'm not saying it's bad work. You look great. But the before and afters, okay, like I don't even know if has Drew done anything. I can't even say that Drew has done anything. Maybe she's gotten a little Botox. But Drew has looked pretty much the same since we met her. And if she's done anything, it's very subtle. But y'all keep it. 1 minute Kelly's saying that Drew looks like an alien. The next minute, this one, K Michelle is saying that she's a funny face girl. Coming from you? Okay. But when she was talking about her being the face girl, K Michelle is good at her confessional. She is funny. Okay. She's like, she's a face girl. She's like, huh? And then, the editors, they throw that face of the. But here's the thing. She's the face girl because you have all of us, not just Drew. We're all like, like who? The plot? The scheming? The stinky for JJ? The long toes? Like, I'm like, You do that to all of us because we're confused by your behavior. Okay? Archie says that Drew's 100% natural. I mean, look, she might get a little Botox or something like that, but we've seen Drew since she was a young woman. Hasn't really changed much. Been cute a long time. I don't understand why y'all keep coming for Drew. It doesn't make sense, and I'm not even a Drew advocate. Remember, Drew at BravoCon in New York City, when I met her, lovely, but she was like, can you be nicer to me? I was like, Drew, be better. I said, no promises, and I walked away. That's where her and Ralph were still together. Ralph was looking from behind the scenes, and so was Todd. I was like, don't be looking over here, fellas. I'm talking to Drew, okay? Danny says, K Michelle's not landing for me. Alma says, Drew has natural beauty. Charjay says, Drew is beautiful and natural. They keep coming. She's like the face girl. She called her funny face girl. Now, y'all would have said I was mean if I brought the before and afters. I can see the before and afters in my face right now when it comes to K Michelle. And there's nothing wrong with getting any work done. I am not going to judge, especially if it's good work. K Michelle, you look great. But you can't sit up here and talk about funny face girl when that's naturally what she looks like, and she looks beautiful right now. When they flash to Drew, I'm like, Drew looks, especially at this dinner, Drew looks gorgeous. I love everything about what she had going on. And Drew has gotten better with her looks as well. When I say looks, like her style, because her style has been a little questionable in her first season, but a lot of Housewives style is questionable in their first season. And I don't love every confessional look, but that's fine. But the hair and the face are pretty damn good. Millie says a lot of body shaming this season. I know they keep talking about how someone's tiny and a hobbit. Then they're talking about how someone's a Sasquatch. I don't like any of it, to be honest with you. Queenie, thank you so much for being a member for 16 months. Queenie says body shaming comes from the jealousy and insecurity. That's exactly what's happening. All right, let's move on from there because we have a lot more to talk about. But first, shout out to our sponsor for today, Factor. Okay, I get it. It's not a new year, but it can still be a new you. As you know, we've partnered with Factor many, many times, and this is no different. But let me paint a picture for you. Hunger strikes, and you're exhausted. I know it, especially on a busy day. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be making, but you don't have it in you. Relatable, right? For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem until I found Factor. As you know, I have a busy schedule. Sometimes there's breaking news and I do not have the time in me to cook that meal or prepare for that meal. With Factor, I'm hitting my nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. What I also love about Factor is that you're getting great quality meals, dietitian approved meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. As I've mentioned many times before, Factor meals are crafted with functional ingredients from lean proteins, colorful veggie, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors, no sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, and no refined seed oils. And most importantly, convenience. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door, so you have more time for everything you love this spring. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only, while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. More details on Factor and your discounts will be available in the description. Thanks, Factor. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring today, guys. More details on Factor will be available in the description. Don't forget to also join our mailing list, Kempire's Inner Circle. We just dropped a new email today. It's free. So join today at thekempire.com/join. Links are available in the live chat and also in the description notes. So be sure to join our mailing list so you don't miss out. You guys are already missing out. I even let you know that was going live today. It's all kind of really cool stuff. We're celebrating Pride. I'm talking about some of the things that I was enjoying over the weekend. I also dropped a new episode of Club Kempire where I talk about the movie I Love Boosters. And I dropped some tea, some RHOP tea. I dropped some Roni tea. So be sure to check that out as well. All right. So back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Guys, be sure to let me know how you would rate this week's episode of Atlanta. Are you enjoying it? Okay. I'm still on the first scene, so let me move on. So K. Michelle, in regards to Drew's face, she says, you should change your face. Okay, K. Michelle, like you did? Like you did? Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess you probably say, yeah, like I did. T says, I got my email. Thanks, Tish. All right. Moving on from there. Shout out to we got a couple of new mods in the building too. So shout out to our mods. We're going to be adding to the team. So not all the pressure's on poor Foxy. Okay. All right. Back to this. So she said that Drew should change her face. Kamer says, around other people, Portia's different. Do y'all believe that? Look, yes. Could that be a possibility? I don't think that's what's happening with K. Michelle. I don't think that Portia's one way with K. Michelle when it's one-on-one and Portia's when she's in a group scene. And maybe she is, but it's a different dynamic. When you're in a group scene, I don't think it's the way that K. Michelle's painting it. I think when it's in a group scene, Portia's like, I got to deliver. We've got to, move on from certain conversations. We got to have these moments kind of thing. So it could be that she's referring to, or it could just be the voices in her head. I think it's the latter. Okay. Because it's not landing for me. It's not. All right. So K. Michelle, she says Portia's different when it's not one-on-one. Portia says that it felt like Kelly and K. Michelle were double teaming her, because then they flash back to that moment where Kelly's like, you ain't got to worry about it. And then K. Michelle mimics what she says. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about it. What is going on here? This is not making sense. Okay. So K. Michelle then says in her confession, you don't run me and you don't run Atlanta. That's what's happening here. I feel like K. Michelle is feeling insecure around Portia. And maybe it's intentional. Maybe it's production. Maybe it's the network. I told you, I do believe that they play those games in order to create conflict within the groups. And it's not just on Atlanta. I think that happens across the board when it comes to reality television, but also Real Housewives. But this is me giving grace to K. Michelle, saying that maybe they're playing a game with her behind the scenes. But at the same time, I don't think so. I think this is all K. Michelle. All right, so then we have the scene with Shamia at her parents' home. Shamia recalls about the float losing air. I had a good old time. I made a clip of last week when we talked about that, and I said this is representative of Shamia's experience on this show. It's just falling flat, flop. Yeah. So she talks about that, and she was like, did y'all do that? In regards to the other women that were there. So Shamia complains that Angela is the one trying her right now. She's like, she's getting along with the group, but she feels like Angela is trying her. Do you guys think that Angela's doing too much when it comes to Shamia? Do you think that Shamia on some level does have a point when it comes to Angela? Because it does give Angela the season is sort of the charade, sort of the bone carrier. She's keeping things going. She's producing stuff. I do see that in Angela, but I also see Shamia still blaming Angela for her friendship ending with Portia. We have to remember at the reunion what Portia said. I literally just rewatched this last week, at least this part of the reunion. Portia's issue with Shamia isn't just what the women were saying that she was saying to them. Portia says that she heard the same thing from other people that are not in this group. So Shamia was talking crap. We can't forget that element that Portia brought up at the reunion. Portia says that she heard the same thing from other people that are part of this group. She's not as innocent as she tries to portray herself on the show. GC, thank you for being a member for 10 months. GC says, "Am I the drama?" by K. Michelle, not Cardi. Lord, she is the drama. Okay. Rue says that she zeroed in on Shamia. Angela? RC says that Angela did mess up Shamia and Portia's friendship. No, come on, let's be real. If you've been friends with someone since you were a kid, you think that anyone in this group can really mess up your friendship the way that their friendship has been messed up? We already know their foundation was already shaky. They came in as best friends on the same show, people talking about their friendship. I'm not saying that didn't happen. However, y'all were already on shaky ground for these women to come in and barely say anything. And what they said wasn't even a lie. It'd be one thing if Angela and Drew and all them came in and like, well, she said this, and they lied about it. But they weren't lying about what Shamia said. Okay? All right. All right. Elizabeth says, Shamia has everything those ladies want. A great husband, children, money, amazing family whose mother and father are still together. Shamia needs to show her real life more. And that's what we're getting in this scene. We're getting a scene with Shamia at home with her family because those are the only ones that will film with her. I mean, let's be honest. Those are the only people in her life that are willing to film with her. Gerald isn't. And when he is, he seems so uninterested. So... speaking of which, so she complains about that. Shamia then gives an update on the baby process. As you know, she has one male embryo left. So she's talking about that process. Apparently, we find out in this scene that there was another male embryo that didn't end up working out, and that was with Shadina. So I don't think we knew that. We know that they had failed transfers multiple times. And she says to her mom, her mom was concerned, like, is this a healthy male embryo? She's like, yeah, it is. But all of them were healthy. And they didn't, and they had failed transfers. So apparently there was another one before. So then she talks about Gerald. She says, Gerald says that Shamia has to want this too. And Shamia says that she did want it a lot before. And look, in all fairness to Shamia, I can understand why she was probably excited about this in the beginning. But since then, Shiloh has gone through the health issues and she's still dealing with the health issues. And she might not, Shiloh might not have a normal life. So I understand why she was excited before and why now she's just like, and everything it's done to her body. I can understand why she's not as excited. And Gerald's just like, you need to be excited as well. In all fairness, Gerald, you didn't carry these babies. You're not taking the shots. But I also know you have also gone through the emotional ups and downs of this process as well, but not on the same level as Shamia. Point blank, period. She's actually going through hormonal changes with the shots and retrieving these eggs and getting this done. But then also that whole process, it's a little different for a mother. So I felt for Shamia when she talked about this. And now we are starting to see that she is feeling pressure from Gerald because Gerald's like, you got to want this too. And she's like, I did want it. But now she's like, I don't know. I don't want it at the same level that I wanted it before. And I completely understand. I completely understand why she might be traumatized and triggered by this whole process and getting your hopes up. And we see that she does have a new surrogate that will be carrying. And look, honestly, besides the show, besides our criticisms of Shamia, I hope it works out for her. And I think if it does work out for her, she'll be she will take a sigh of relief and be like, okay, we have a healthy baby. I'm so grateful. Boy, girl, or whatever. It's just so grateful. So my wish for her, besides not being on the show anymore, is that it does work out for her. I know a lot of people are making Gerald out to be the villain in this story, and maybe it is. But I also know there are a lot of men that do speak this way to their wives, especially those that are going through some of these things. Not saying that it's okay, but some of y'all want to, be so hard on Gerald, and y'all dealing with the same thing at home, just maybe a different circumstance. Just saying, not saying it's right, but everyone wants to be holier than thou when it comes to their men, and you might have a very similar man. Okay. Classy says, I'm so late, but I made it. You did. You're not that late. You're 41 minutes late, but it's okay. It's okay. This will not be a 3-hour live. I have an appointment. I cannot be here too long. We will take some callers, but callers, I can't promise I'll get to everyone. But if you're a member, I will be dropping the call link for you guys shortly. All right. Happy Pride. Ooh. Look. Sorry. Focus. All right. I'm talking about we need to get these things done, and I'm busy dancing and twerking. Shamia scenes. So Shamia talks about that and talks about, her struggles. And her mother says, Gerald wants a boy. And she wants to give him a son. Her mom says, if it's God's will, which is true. Shamia says she doesn't know if she has it in her to go through what she did with Shiloh. Because again, we don't know if Shiloh's going to be able to live, a quote normal life as she gets older, especially with all the health stuff that she's been going through. I get it. Okay, moving on. Moving on. So then we have this little segment where we see Portia in the drive-thru with Dennis. All right. I think Portia stays around Dennis, not just for a co-parenting thing, to be honest with you. And yes, in a perfect world, that would be amazing. I think she uses him for her storyline. I think she uses him to film. Okay. So they're going through the drive-thru, and she's getting his wallet to pay, and she's like, "You got a black card?" And he can say, "I got a bunch of platinums." Okay, me too, Dennis. So she's like, "Let me hold on to this one." Okay. All right. So then Drew meets with her new manager, Kia, and Kia's like, "You're late?" She's like, "How are you late with 15 people?" In regards to her team, we're gonna get to the team meeting in a second. So Kia wants to meet with Drew's team. She's like, I want to bring the entire team together because apparently there's been some issues in the team. We'll get back to that later. So in this next scene, we have Phaedra and Kelly meeting up. So Kelly goes over to Phaedra's home. I like that Kelly doesn't come with her hands swinging. She always comes with some food or something and gifts and stuff. So she meets with Phaedra. Kelly says that wearing a bra isn't her thing because Phaedra makes a comment about it. Phaedra, look, we've said this. Phaedra doesn't have a storyline in sight, okay? No storyline in sight. But if they want to pay her a housewife salary while giving friend of energy, I'm okay with it. She's made me laugh multiple times during the season. Phaedra says, Kelly's boobs are like a sweet chariot. They hang low. She knows how to deliver a joke. She definitely knows how to. Not only is she an equestrian, a lawyer, a mortician, what else? A business person, a fashion designer, whatever. She's also a comedian. She's like, Kelly's boobs are like a sweet chariot. They hang low. I was like, okay, she's earning her check. I know a lot of you are not. Oh, Reiki master. I forgot about that, Makai. She's a Reiki master. She's got all the things. Okay. She's also the godfather of Atlanta. All right. But when she says, Kelly's boobs are like a sweet chariot, they hang low. I mean, if she came up with it or a producer came up with it and gave it to her, kudos to you both. But I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was so funny. That was hilarious. All right. So Kelly apologizes for her behavior at Phaedra's Reiki event. All right. Kelly says that she was tired of Portia's finger in her face. Well, you need to stop saying stuff too. Like, why are you talking during an argument between K. Michelle and Portia? And her finger wasn't in your face until you started saying stuff to her. Just saying. But anyway, so she's making all kinds of excuses. She claims that there is a married man in Portia's divorce documents. Which one? And which divorce documents are we talking about? What is she saying? She said she's seen them online, and Phaedra's like, "Oh, I haven't seen that." She's like, "What? Like, what married man? What married man was in her divorce documents?" I know. Future's not married. Look. What divorce? Can y'all remind me? What married man was in Portia's divorce documents? Kelly claims that she's a friend 365, not 265, and then they flash back to when Portia says, 265. Y'all notice how they're showing more Nene scenes? I'm just saying, Nene's in the good graces of the network. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Nene come back like as a friend of. I don't think they're going to give her straight up full-time housewife from the beginning. I think after people see Nene back on Ultimate Girls Trip, that's when the door will be open. Okay? No matter what Andy wants. I know Andy says he feels like this cast is fine, but remember his boss said the door is open to anything. So RC says probably Simon. Simon, I'm thinking that we're talking about the divorce with Simon. Simon was married, but he got a divorce before he got married to Portia. Portia. Oh my goodness. So Kelly talks about not being able to film with her daughters, and the girls feel like aren't they good enough anymore? So they feel away like, why aren't we able to film with you, mommy? And I've heard that before about other kids that have filmed reality television. Like, okay, we filmed, but they didn't include us, and the kids end up feeling away. They don't understand Hollywood. So Phaedra, who has been on reality television a long time, and she's a lawyer. So Phaedra says, I have some advice for you when it comes to filming. She says, even when they get married to someone else, they want control. So she's talking about Apollo. Because not only did he end up getting married, before that, he was in jail. So he still wants control. Okay. I mean, it seems like they're co-parenting very well. They were just together for one of Aiden's games that he won. So they always take a family picture together. So that's sweet. So apparently she has advice for Kelly. I thought this was going to be the moment where Kelly enlists her as her attorney, but I guess we see that later on. We saw that during the mid-season trailer. So Kelly talks about this new guy that she's dating, Jarvis. Okay. And she says she's not ready to introduce him to the rest of the group. And I'm like, Kelly, you barely have a storyline. Who is this man? Does anyone recognize his voice? Have we not figured this out? I don't understand. I don't understand why you have no storyline. They made you a full-time housewife, and you got the man in the phone and a nickname. Why are we even using a nickname? Does he? Obviously, he's okay with filming because he's filming and he's on speakerphone. I don't. It's not making sense to me. Can someone make it make sense for me? Why is she a full-time housewife with a man in the phone, not being able to film with her kids? I don't understand. Okay, we'll get to the man in the phone in a second. All right, so moving on from that scene, we get Pinky, Angela, and Cynthia meeting up. Pinky's daughter, Diella, is the face of this new campaign. All right, this new fashion line. Okay, so Pinky's mom was a lead. Does anyone know? I don't recognize Pinky's mom as a lead singer of a reggae band. Her mom's Jamaican. Her mom is the lead singer of a reggae band, and they said that she says that she used to watch her mother perform in front of thousands of people. Does anyone, Jamaicans, y'all recall who her mom is? I'm asking. I don't know her. Look, I don't know her. Or maybe I do, and I just didn't recognize her. Wave Keith says his wife will recognize his voice. Give it time. Damn, in regards to Jarvis, what a stupid name. All right. Hey, Toya. Makai says, Kemp, you supposed to know as a Jamaican. That sounds a little racist. Excuse me? I don't know. Does anyone know? Okay, Billie Jean says nope. No one in the chat knows who her mama is. She said she used to perform in front of thousands of people. All right. And Miss Melon Magic said thousands? I don't know her. Look, I don't know her, as Mariah would say. All right, so back to this photo shoot. Shout out to Cynthia. Cynthia, I hope they're paying you very well. Because the way that Cynthia is the mother hen of this group of women, she really is the anchor. and I'm seeing more of that this season than we saw last season. Cynthia is really the anchor this season, and she's getting an update on what she missed when she left the situation. So what I did love to see, because Cynthia is a model, so she's helping D'Ella do poses. I was like, this is so cute to watch. And then of course Angela brought her daughter, who walked in Fashion Week. Her daughter's gorgeous too, a little girl. So Angela and Pinky update Cynthia on what went down after she left Phaedra's dinner. Okay, Cynthia says that she sees Portia. She doesn't see Portia not. She sees Portia as trying to be a friend to K. Michelle. That's the way it was giving off. I don't know if it's genuine. Again, we're watching an edited show, but that's what it was giving. And based on what we're seeing of K. Michelle, it's giving delusional. Just saying. So Cynthia says that God protected her from being there during that fight. She said, "Not today, Satan, not these cheekbones." Angela says that she and Shamia got to fix their thing, and Shamia keeps bringing stuff up from the past. So this is already foreshadowing that we're going to see a sit down between Shamia and Angela. Okay. So Pinky says that Angela does instigate things. She's like, we're in a better place, but you do instigate things. All right. In Angela's confessional, she's trying to be good, she says. So she calls Shamia. She's like, Shamina. No. And then she says she a liar. Angela, the queen, you are the queen to be. Come on. Come on. All right. Pinky had a one-on-one with Portia, and we get to see a little bit of it. Pinky does have a thing about her, and it could be because she's a fire sign, so she can be a lot. She's also a business owner, so she's probably been in a lot of meetings with a lot of men, so she's always probably felt like I need to, assert myself in a certain way, and that could just be her personality. So she had this one-on-one with Portia, and it not that it got heated between them, but you could see in that scene that Pinky was trying to control the conversation. All right. But at the end of their conversation, Pinky says it was good because Portia says she's willing to try again with K. Michelle. All right. Then we get this scene of Kelly. Kelly's getting some new teeth. I don't even remember what Kelly's teeth looked like before, but they're $70,000. Kelly has been talking about how all the issues that she has with money right now and blah, 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 blah. She can't even get that raggedy dog. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. Was it? No, it's not Chi-Chi. Wasn't it Cha-Cha? Chi-Chi's is Phaedra's dog. Chi-Chi's Phaedra's lap dog. Okay. Kidding. But am I? All right. So she can't. Poor Shasha can't get the raggedy dye anymore, which I think is great. But you get new teeth, $70,000 teeth. All right. So she's getting $70,000 teeth. Okay, but she got million dollar bills, or maybe $1,000 bills. I don't know. It's not Chichanga. What the hell did you write Way of Keith? What's the name of that damn dog? All right. So she's getting some new teeth, but she's not paying for these new teeth. Her new man, Jarvis. Jarvis is getting her the new teeth. Shamia shows up to be moral support, and Shamia shows up in the same exact outfit as Kelly. Same aloe outfit. Okay. They start acting up. Shamia. This is why I can't with you, Shamia. Beautiful woman. Shamia straddles Kelly in the damn dentist chair when she sees that they have the same outfit on. Okay. We find out, though, Shamia is the one that introduced Jarvis to Kelly. So she knows who this man is. And apparently she's like, I wouldn't introduce my bestie to a brokey. You ain't gonna get past these allegations, though, because people have said that Shamia, be hooking up the girls down there in Atlanta. She's a connector. She's the plug. Remember they used to say that she was the plug to the Africans? I mean, there's other words that we could use for that, but we won't. I'm just... Y'all can say it in the chat. Okay, fine. So she's the one who introduced Jarvis to Kelly. Jarvis sends a big bouquet of flowers. I mean, I'm happy for her. I think this is very sweet. I don't know how it would feel though if someone says to me, I'll pay for your new teeth. You think I need new teeth? Motherfucker? That's what I got. You think I need new teeth? But maybe this is something that she said that she's wanted. Cringy Shamia is like, well, if he's paying $70,000 for your new teeth, then you need to give him 70,000 BJs. Again, you ain't getting past those allegations for me. You ain't getting past those allegations for me. Is that an order, Matt? I almost said it. Is that an order? Is that your way of saying something? Is that an order? I feel awkward. I need to move on. Move on. Not only that, Jarvis got her flowers and got her a diamond necklace with a picture of her and her girls. She says that she loves Jarvis because he loves her daughters. I thought the necklace was tacky as hell, but if you like it, I love it for you. Whatever. Okay. El Michelle says, dummy, that's $1 a BJ. Not you doing the math. Not you doing the math, okay? You're right, though. That's a lot. She says she's done 15 so far in her tacky Tom Ford t-shirt dress that she's rocking during her confessional. All right, let's move on. Let's move to Drew's team meeting. So Drew has a team of 20 people. This was a funny scene. Honestly, Drew, I prefer this scene than any scene that you have coming up with Black. Please, I hope there's no more scenes with Black. Because I really don't care, especially when we find out he's a scammer, allegedly. That's what he's being accused of in a new lawsuit, okay? So apparently she got 20 people on her team, and she says to production, did y'all count? Did y'all count? Is it 20? Okay. Drew says she has multiple assistants, publicists. She's got her hair and makeup there, the stylist, Kia, her new manager, who's managed other artists. Does anyone know who Kia has managed before? I didn't get a chance to look it up, but she said that Kia has managed some artists that she's looked up to. So I was like, oh, wait. Kia does seem about her business, though. She definitely seems about her business. So they want to have this meeting. They want to have this meeting so that Kia can meet the entire team, because apparently there have been some issues in the team. Okay. So the hairstylist, who I've seen before, he's been on a bunch of things, but he was on Kenya's channel, YouTube channel recently, talking about his work and who he's worked with. So the hairstylist says some old people need to be replaced on this team, and accuses the assistant, Danny, of being lazy and not doing their job. Okay. So Danny says that Drew needs a new wig stylist because, sometimes that wig be lifted. Well, here's the thing. If this was season 1, then I'd be like, yeah, you might be right. All right. You might be right. However, not in the last couple of seasons. Her hair has been laid and laid well. I can't say to the point where she's late for stuff. Okay. No, that's one thing. Did the hairstylist do her hair in Dallas for Cynthia's event that she showed up at the end? Hair was laid. Y'all keep coming for Drew and her hair. Okay. So the hairstylist was like, the blogs don't think so. The blogs, if that was true, the blogs would have been talking about it. I would agree. Do I like every hairstyle? No, but I can't say her hair looks a hot mess. All right. And this hairstyle really does the girls down there in Atlanta. So Freedom, what was Freedom's job? Does anyone remember Freedom's job? I don't know what Freedom's job. Freedom was sitting up on that stool with legs crossed. Freedom was getting the heat from Danny, the other assistant. So Freedom was accused of getting drunk on the job. All right, I can see it. Come on. The way Freedom's energy and the name Freedom, I was like, yeah, you be getting drunk and lit on the job. Okay. But Freedom accuses Danny of lacking professionalism. Well, sir, you're being accused of drinking on the job. Okay. So they get into it. They're arguing. So One thing that stood out to me though, Danny said that, oh, you come and go all the time, Freedom. You getting fired all the time here. Freedom's like, but I'm here now. It's like, it's like Color Purple. But I'm here. But I'm here, Freedom said. Freedom, but apparently Freedom has dogged Drew online. So was he one of those people? Why would she bring Freedom back? Freedom's the makeup artist. Okay, well, no, but Freedom does a good job. That's why Freedom's back. Freedom's back because Freedom can do the girls' makeup. Sorry, hairstylist stays and makeup artist stays. Danny, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. You got a lot of complaints. You were the one crunked up against a bunch of other people. Everybody else was mute though. Okay. Ruth says Drew's LLC can afford all those people. Drew in her personal capacity cannot. So Drew gets emotional because she says something went down after her Chicago show. Apparently there was an altercation. I don't know if it was physical, but she says an altercation. Okay. Yes, Alexi, I forgot I did talk about this over the weekend. This is why you got to listen to me everywhere. I talked about this on the podcast over the weekend. That's why I had a special Real Housewives of Atlanta episode on the podcast. Drew has been allowed to stay in the marital home. Remember, they were saying that she was going to have to get kicked out. Well, now she's able to stay in the home in a last minute judgment. So that's good, which is great. I don't know for how long, but she's able to stay in the home. So we did have that update in regards to Drew and her fight with Ralph Pittman. But apparently Drew gets really emotional because her team's falling apart. Honestly, Drew, I don't even care if this was a produced situation and these people love each other. It was funny to me. Okay, it was funny. Millie says Danny is a driver. Is he the reason Drew's late all the time? Well, he's the driver and he's also her assistant. Maybe. That Atlanta traffic is something else. It really is something else, that Atlanta traffic. But, you know, Drew says she's got a condition. All right, and we talked about the condition. We had people call in and talk about it. That's a real condition. I don't know if she's been officially diagnosed with it, but okay. I guess maybe we'll talk about that during the reunion. All right, so then we have a meeting of the minds. Cynthia and Pinky bring K, Michelle, and Portia together to bring peace to the situation, okay? All right. So before we do that, though, today is brought to you by our friends over at RHOA. Today's live is sponsored by RHOA. I have been loving hearing all of your stories about those of you that have taken advantage already of RHOA being a sponsor here on the channel. You've talked about how it's changed your life, how you've lost weight that you've been trying to lose for a very long time. I'm loving hearing your stories. And a lot of you have also shared how this has allowed you to take advantage of GLP-1s that are actually affordable. A lot of people think that GLP-1s are expensive. However, it doesn't have to be. And our friends over at RHOA allow you a variety of different options on how you can take advantage as well. RHOA has helped a lot of people lose weight. That's why they have the lowest cost options out there, whether you're paying with insurance or cash. RHOA's free insurance checker makes it easy to see if you're covered. Just submit your insurance card and RHOA handles the rest. There's no paperwork, no waiting on hold, and no confusing phone calls. RHOA's free insurance checker will send you a comprehensive report of your coverage details so that you can make a decision that's right for your goals. And most importantly, if insurance doesn't cover your treatment, there are still options. RHOA offers low-cost, cash-pay, FDA-approved GLP-1s, including newer dosage forms like daily pills and multi-dose pens. RHOA offers a multi-month membership option in addition to multi-month medications that help members prepay and save on their GLP-1 medications. Just another way RHOA is working to increase access to life-changing medication. Some other important details when you work with RHOA: their cash pay options ship right to your door, no pharmacy visits required. If you decide to move forward, RHOA can help you understand if GLP-1s are right for you and your goals, but that's just the beginning. That's the difference with RHOA. They're giving you the education that you fully understand what you're taking. When you become a RHOA member, you'll have support throughout the process. You'll have access to your provider on demand for any questions. Join over the 1,500,000 people who've trusted RHOA on their weight loss journey. If this was an option that I needed, I would have used RHOA. But what I've been loving is hearing all of you that have been using RHOA, even some personal friends that have been using RHOA off of our discount. If you would like to take advantage, here's your opportunity. Go to RHOA.co/Kempire to see if you qualify. That's RO.co/Kempire to get started on RHOA. Go to RHOA.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. All information will be available in the description. Thanks, RHOA. Shout out to RHOA for sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Again, more information on all our sponsors will be available in the description, including our merch. Head on over to houseofkempire.com if you want the Are You Okay merch, if you want our Pride merch. It is Pride Month. Ooh! Here on the channel, we are celebrating and we are trying to raise $10,000 for the community center, the LGBTQIA plus center here in New York City that's providing for the community. And they've been providing for the community for many decades. So help us reach our goal this year. We did $6,000 last year, over $6,000 last year. So we're trying to beat our goal and do 10,000. We did that in 2 weeks last year. We can definitely do that now in 4 weeks. Today's the 1st. If you're watching the replay of this, the link for donations will be available somewhere along the side of the video. If you want to donate now, go to one of our last videos. You can make a donation right now. My goal for this week, since it's the first week, can we get to, look, let's get to $2,500 this week. Let's get to $2,500 this week. All right. By Saturday, let's get to $2,500. 100% of your donation goes to the organization, thanks to YouTube giving. So shout out to YouTube giving for that. 100% of your donation is going to the center. Help us do that this year. All right. Thank you to everyone that's already donated or will be donating or sharing our videos for other people in your life to donate as well. All right. All right. So happy Pride. Ooh! Okay. All right, let me say thank you because we had quite a few super chats as well. Queenie, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Queenie says, I'm trying to figure out if any friend of has ever transitioned well to a housewife. They seem to keep flopping. Love Shamia, but damn. That's true. Is there any example of that where someone's transitioned from a friend of to a housewife that's been fantastic? I mean, we've seen housewives go from housewives to friend ofs and come back as housewives, but that doesn't count. Miss Pittman, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. They said, I think Angela sees through Shamia. She was Portia's bestie. Angela sees similarities in them. I will say I have to agree with that. I definitely think Angela has been a voice of clarity when it comes to Shamia last season. And I was just like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Miss V. Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss V. Thomas says, can't get over the Carlton Banks uniform for Phaedra's butler. You know what? Thank you for the super chat. Noda Queen, thank you for the super chat and for being a member. Noda Queen says, Kay has beef with Portia and Drew based on stuff they did in past seasons. We're watching a live action parasocial relationship. I can see that because it's very clear that Kay Michelle has been watching and studying these women. She's the one that's been plotting. J.I., thank you so much for the super chat. J.I. says, Kelly is obsessed with Portia. Why is she going through Portia's divorce docs and referencing Portia quotable? What if Portia was to read Kelly's court docs with Carl Winslow? He does kind of look like Carl Winslow. Well, damn. All right. Thanks, J.I. Thank you, Ebony, for the super chat. We appreciate Ebony Reads. Thank you so much for the super chat and a beautiful photo, Ebony. J.I., thank you for another super chat. J.I. says, Kelly keeps calling Portia a whore, but Kelly seems to be the one accepting expensive gifts like $70,000 teeth in exchange for loving. Very hypocritical. Portia, is this Portia's account? Ms. V. Thomas, thank you for another super chat. Ms. V. Thomas says, I see why Drew always late, starting with AARP Tony. That she says she's known that man for a long time. Don't be disrespectful, Miss V. She's known him since she was a little girl. That's her assistant. Okay. I'm mad that I even know who you were talking about. Never mind. Goodbye. Leave me alone. Queenie, thank you for another super chat and for being a member. Queenie says maybe Shamia should do a matchmaking show on Bravo instead. African millionaire matchmaker. She can still be cringy, but we would get smaller doses. Don't give her an idea. She's like, I'm gonna bring this idea to Bravo. Ebony, thank you for another super chat. Ebony says accepting $70,000 for new teeth with a struggling restaurant and no child support is crazy. That's the other thing. Like, you're talking about not getting your children's child support, and you're out here getting $70,000 new teeth. And I'm not saying that you should take the $70,000 and spend it on the kids, but why not? I mean, maybe she's not struggling. She's able to do both, but she's like, I still am owed this amount of money. But you're complaining like, I don't get it. I mean, you have every right to complain about money you're owed, but you're talking about how Cha-Cha, Shishi, whatever the name of the damn dog's name is. You're talking about how they can't get the things. Blanche reminds us Serena announced today that she's coming back to tennis. Yes, I did see that. So congratulations. That's some good news. Congratulations to Serena. All right, let me get back to our recap because let me actually drop the call-in link. Hold on. Let me do that right now, y'all. As I'm doing that, guys, keep liking the video. I will drop the call link for the general audience once we get to over 1,000 likes, y'all, because we have over 2,600 of you here, which I appreciate. I don't take it lightly. Thank you all for being here. Okay. All right. Let me drop the call-in link for our Royal Court members and senior royals. Team Kempire members, I'll drop the call link for you guys in a moment. And live chat, once we get to a certain amount of likes, I mean, over 2,500 of you are here. I know some of y'all don't love my opinions, but you always want to hear them. But okay. I always want to hear them. You may not agree with me, but you always want to hear 'em. I appreciate it. Keep watching. All right. Check out our sponsors too. Hey, Chanel. Chanel's watching on X. All right. Let me drop the call link for our members. And if you're listening to this, don't forget you can also hear our live recaps, a edited down, cleaned up version of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. As I mentioned before, I dropped quite a few podcast episodes, including our Club Kempire episode, which I dropped a lot of tea. So be sure to check that out. But I also dropped some other podcast episodes, and this will be on the podcast later today. Okay, so. All right. Well, maybe. I got a lot of stuff to do today. Okay. All right. Let's move on from there. Let me open up back my notes. So we have this sit down between K. Michelle and Portia. So K. Michelle says that Portia is not a bad person. She's just not that smart. Okay. Kay says that Portia is huge and can beat her butt. All right. She says, so I'm going to be cordial with Portia. All right. Pinky says that she feels like she's losing her voice, and Portia says, good. Portia says when she met up with Pinky, Pinky would not let her speak. So she just basically agreed to this lunch so that Pinky would stop talking. I don't know about you guys. It felt good seeing this sort of interact because, a lot of people, Pinky's had her little issues with some of the people in the group, but it feels like they are building a friendship. Anyone else felt? I sense like an actual friend. I thought that was hilarious. She's like, I think I'm losing my voice. Portia's like, good. Oh my gosh. And she's just like, Portia. So Pinky and Cynthia are there to try and mediate this conversation, but they end up leaving so that Portia and K. Michelle can have this conversation. So Portia says that that she was frustrated that K. Michelle was talking to everyone else about this plot and scheme and not coming to her. K. Michelle owns that, and she's like, you know what? Oh, thank you so much, Jamie. Jamie says, Kempire, I love your newsletter. Just joined last week, and I haven't put out anything new. I was like, I need to update the Kempire's Inner Circle. So thank you so much, Jamie, for that. All right. So Portia says that she was frustrated that K. Michelle was talking to other people about having issues with Portia, and she never came to her with that. K. Michelle's just like, you know what? I own that. I should have come to you in regards to it. All right. But she says her first experience in the group was seeing Portia basically blast and get her lick back on Kelly about this married pastor. So she was a little like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Portia says she was just getting her lick back when it comes to the Kelly of it all. And she says in her confessional, Kelly being on her hands and knees for the pastor and not praying. She said it has nothing to do with her and K. Michelle. I mean, she's got a point, I think. All right. Portia tries to defend Drew about any plot because K. Michelle now saying that Drew is behind the plot. She said there were 3 people involved, Phaedra, Portia, and Drew. But she feels like, and she said this in interviews, that she feels that Drew was the mastermind behind this said plot. What's the plot? Kay says that Drew puts herself in these types of things. She says that there was an effort to put information out there about her and to expose her. So Kay says the plot was, 1, act like K. Michelle knows Black. K. Michelle, you were the one who said that you knew Black. And then you were acting real familiar when you saw him on the FaceTime. Then she says to talk about the rumor from like 8 years ago about her having a smelly pum pum. All right. Then she says there was a 3rd plot. The production's like, what was the 3rd plot? I got long toes. And she's like, I do. Y'all don't see that K. Michelle is making this stuff up as she goes along? That's exactly what it's giving. So this was the plot that Drew was coming for her. I will say this. Portia did admit that Drew does have a thing of digging up information on people that she's not getting along with. But I feel like all of them do that, right? Anyone else? I feel like all of them do that. So Kay says that she will hold Drew, Tubi, Sedora, even though she loves Tubi, feet to the fire when it comes to the plot and the scheme. What plot and scheme? This is all in your head, K. Michelle. And again, I'm not putting it past Drew, Portia, Phaedra, or any of these housewives plotting against you. I don't think they were, though. I really don't think they were. Paige says this heifer is exhausting. I'm like Pinky. I'm losing my voice, but you guys don't want me to lose my voice like Portia. Savannah says, is that what Kay is doing? I don't know. Toya says, K. Michelle is lying. If I was Drew, I would summon Rashida. No, because Rashida's a mess too. Toya says, K. Michelle learned from Portia. L. Michelle says, Lil' Kim was right. This lady's a bag of nuts. Yeah. Pageant Mommy says that Kay is seething with envy. That's what I'm getting. I feel like K. Michelle came into this thinking that she was going to probably be the queen of the show. That's what it's giving. Just if you pay attention to some of the things that she's saying, and even on the Watch What Happens Live, she was talking about how the fans love the vets and things like that. And I was just like, you're reading the comment section. Like, there's so many examples of where I'm like, oh, she's reading the comment section. When she did press and she was doing all those different interviews, it was very clear that she was reading the comment section. And it's very clear that she is. We could tell. Because she's reposting my post and coming for me. I'm like, okay, girl. Here we are. Austin, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Austin says, Shamia is Marlo's... Oh, you know what? Madam, you can't tell me different. Lord have mercy. Allegedly. That's all I'm going to say. Sidebar. LA, Los Angeles. You have an important election tomorrow. Make sure you go out and vote. Okay, a very important mayoral election. Y'all can't get this wrong. If y'all want to be, y'all can't be like New York City right now. We got a fantastic mayor. But Spencer Pratt should not be your mayor. Okay, go out and vote, please. Please go out and vote. Tyrese, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Tyrese says, Angie K and Mary Cosby are the only successes I could think of. Mary Cosby wasn't a friend of, though. She wasn't a friend of. She was a full-time housewife. Angie K, though, that might be the best example of a friend of becoming a good housewife. We found one. Angie K. I will say Angie, has she been perfect? No, but she definitely became a fan favorite in recent years. Yeah, good for her. Gus says, Kimberly is a flop, period, dot. And if she keeps walking away from scenes, I'm going to request her pink slip. Here's the thing. Gus is talking about the preview for next week's episode where K. Michelle sits down with Drew and basically leaves the situation. Literally gets in the car and leaves. Leaves her purse with Shamia and leaves. You can't be a veteran at reality television and constantly getting up and leaving. Like, you are falling flat and failing multiple times this season. All right. Okay. Well, this has been disputed, El Michelle. But again, that still doesn't constitute Mary being a friend of. They said Mary was supposed to be a friend of initially. Well, no. Look, no. They built the show around Mary Cosby. All right. Anyway. Let's see. Let's move on. All right, guys. Let me move on because we're talking about stuff that's so unrelated. All right. Let's move to the Shamia and Angela lunch scene. Lord have mercy. Okay. Because Shamia is now responding on social media to this scene. So we already knew the scene was coming up between Shamia and Angela because they've been having their issues. I don't even feel like they have a big issue. It really does not need to be a big issue, but they just don't like each other, which is so crazy because they're both Tauruses. So they sit down for this. Shamia, I have to say, when I saw Shamia, I was like, she's so stunning. I wish she was just a better housewife. Damn it. Sidebar, Angela, that pink confessional look that you got going on, no one told you to fix your dress? I hate that confessional look. I get so annoyed. I'm just like, you would think I was a Virgo. It's like, fix that. And fix the breast area there, Lord. But anyway, I've digressed. Shamia looks great. She walks in, she's showing off her new body. All right. So Shamia confronts Angela for claiming that she was stirring things up in the group, because that's what Angela's been saying. She feels like Shamia is the one behind getting K. Michelle riled up. But I think now it's not. I don't think it's Shamia. I don't think it's Kelly. I don't think they're helping the situation. But I also believe that it's the voices. Yeah, the voices in K. Michelle's head that's riling her up. Okay. But Angela doesn't know that. So Shamia says that Angela's discernment is off and that she should use it to sell some houses. Shamia, the waitress comes over and she's talking about kebabs, and Shamia says, "You talking about kebabs, and I'm bobbing and weaving Angela's big hands and big feet. I'm against Sasquatch." They constantly, that's the only thing they can come after Angela for. It's her body, being a tall woman. Angela might be a tall woman, but she is statuesque. Like she is an Amazon. Okay? She wears it well. But anyway. So she's like, "I'm up against Sasquatch." Angela says that Shamia continues to talk about her and accuse her of breaking up her friendship with Portia. Shamia's like, I didn't come here to talk about Portia. I'm not talking about Portia. She really, you're not just bobbing and weaving hands and feet. You're bobbing and weaving anything that has to do with Portia. Okay? So Shamia doesn't know how Angela is able to forgive Portia for the comments that she made about Charles Oakley, or Phaedra for being the godfather of Atlanta, but she's able to move on with them. Okay? Shamia claims that she apologized to Angela. So Angela accuses Shamia of trying to be like Candy and calls her a lapdog with lipstick. I remember when I saw this clip come out last week and I reposted it, and I was talking about how Angela was getting Shamia together, and some people were like, "No, she didn't. No, she didn't." But when you've seen the full fight, now. Who won that fight? I'm gonna ask the chat. Who do you think won this fight between Angela and Shamia? You guys will let me know in the chat. Who do you think won this fight? I'm giving this one personally to Angela. I'm not saying that Shamia didn't try her best. I don't think Shamia was as good or as really was as good as Pinky in the fight between Pinky and Angela. But she got a couple of licks in. Yeah. So Angela says that Shamia is trying to be like Candy and calls her a lapdog with lipstick. Not Candy getting brought up. That was so random. But here's the thing. Angela KO'd. Okay? KO'd Shamia when she said, "You want an EGOT, get a hit first. Get a hit first. You need a hit first." She says, "You want an EGOT, get a hit first. You need a hit first." Angela wasn't done because she was like, people want to talk about her, sleeping with Charles in order to get what she's gotten in the world. She was just like, "I'm self-made. She said, I've never laid on my back to get on my feet." Wait, I think I have the audio of some of this fight. I'm gonna play a couple of moments from the fight. Well, this part of the fight. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Never laid on
Hold on.
I'm self-made. I never laid on my back to get on my feet, baby.
Boom. She says, I never laid on my back to get on my feet. She's iconic. I'm not one to call people iconic because you know the Bravo universe will be like, oh my God, that was so iconic. She's had so many moments in this season alone. She said, I never had to lay on my back to get on my feet. That is a bar. That is a bar. Okay? She said, I never had to lay on my back to get on my feet. Oh! Y'all. 8 hour up. That alone KO'd Shamia. Like, boom. Look, boom.
I'm self-made. I never laid on my back to get on my feet, baby.
That's why your husband leaves in the morning and doesn't come back.
So this is, I have to say, every time people come for Angela, they always go to Charles and say how Charles doesn't love her. That happens the last time. And so now Shamia is like, oh, you know, Charles is never home. Oh, hold on.
You take your ass and don't come back.
And I will leave your ass.
So Angela's saying, no, you're the one that doesn't go, that doesn't go home and doesn't come back, or leaves the home and doesn't come back.
Home to come back. Why will my husband outside
your house?
Your ass and
She says, while my husband's outside, he sees Shamia outside.
Try to keep him at home. How about
She said, try to keep him at home. Y'all keep coming for Charles. Y'all don't know that Angela can read, but Charles will obliterate. And you know Charles will be at the reunion. Will Gerald? Will Gerald be at the reunion? Is Gerald coming? Angela, use that at the reunion. Is Gerald coming? She better bring Gerald. I mean, Gerald's not going to say anything. Gerald's going to sit there and smile. Is Gerald coming? Okay. Wavekey says, so they're both outside? Exactly. Charles is outside. Shamia's outside. Paige says, Shamia do be in the streets. Like, I don't know how you're in the streets and you got 2 young kids. But okay.
Yeah, let's talk about
I got to start from again. Come on.
I'm self-made. I never laid on my back to get on my feet, baby.
that's why your husband leaves in the morning and doesn't come back.
I see why you
take your ass
home and
to
don't
sleep.
come back.
I see why you leave home and don't come back. That's what she's saying. What are you trying to say?
Why don't you leave home and come back? Why will my husband outside
your
he see
house?
your ass in the street?
Try to keep him.
While my husband's outside, he sees your ass in the streets. Okay?
How about that?
Shamia, let's talk about the Falcons or the Hawks.
Let's talk about the Falcons or the Hawks. See, Angela be dropping stuff. She doesn't get into the details. She be dropping something. I'm like, what's she mean? What exactly does she mean about the Falcon and the Hawks?
Great host.
So Shamia's just like, I'm a great host. Because you know she does that as her side gig.
Yes.
Why you sticking around so long, baby?
Oh my God.
She says, why are you sticking around so long? Angela says, why are you sticking around these teams so long?
And you probably should get one of
Oh, Angela said, first of all, Shamia says it pays well. And Angela's like, no, it don't. Remember, her man is from that world, from the basketball world. So she knows some stuff. She also has some inside information. She is a basketball wife.
jobs because that real estate ain't working for you.
I have multiple businesses. The men pay well.
Oh, see, y'all clock that? She says, I have multiple businesses, but the men pay well. So that's what she's trying to say about Shamia. But the men pay well. Excuse me? Des says she finished Shamia. She did. She did. She says the men pay well. Ooh.
That's not going to continue a conversation.
You're in the
Sasquatch.
league.
So she says she's not going to continue a conversation with Sasquatch. So Shamia is on social media today talking about why she ended up leaving. But we'll get to that in a second.
Well, you should be
walk all over your ass.
You should not be wearing
all
this
over
right
your
here.
ass. Why?
You can kiss this ass.
No, what? You're not my type with your fake ass.
Look.
I never laid on my back to get on my feet, baby.
That's
what
why
you
your
do.
husband leaves it.
That's what you do. I'm sorry. Angela, you're a queen to be. Angela, queen. She obliterated. It's not even a conversation, y'all. Well, we now have Shamia weighing in on social media. Shout out to our friends over at the RHOA Talk on X. This is what Shamia had to say in regards to that scene and why she ended up leaving. So Shamia Morton says on social media, having the last name Oakley and saying I slept with players to get ahead is diabolical, crying face emoji. So she asks Angela Oakley, 34, how many players did you have to smash before one wifed you? Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, he claimed to have been intoxicated while doing so. See, Charles, why you got to keep all that messiness in the house? Now people are using it against her. So she says, oh, and if I'm not mistaken, he claimed to have been intoxicated while doing so. Please don't let these people gas you up. Who's these people? Us? The community? No, we gonna gas up Angela because she's been delivering. She says, please don't let these people gas you up. You and I both know I didn't run from you on last night's episode. I was asked to leave because the conversation wasn't going anywhere. There's always more than what y'all see. T. Yeah, they saw that you were being obliterated in the conversation. They did. Look, you could say that production told you to leave, but they had to give you a whole in the moment confessional so that you could be heard, so that you could have your moment. I'm loving in the moment confessionals. This is the second time that we saw it this season. More of this. Glenda, I know you watch. Glenda, showrunner for RHOA. More of this, please. Production, I know y'all watching. More of these, but I want more of it. Like I wanted an in-the-spot confessional from everybody involved. So she says that production told her to leave. They saw that you were being obliterated. So they were trying to do you a solid. It wasn't just, the conversation wasn't going anywhere because Angela was killing it. All right, again. And they saw what Angela did to Pinky. So they were like, we're not going to have, Shamia is not going to survive this. All right, let me play it again.
I'm self-made. I never laid on my back to get on my feet, baby. That's what you
why your
do.
husband leaves in the morning and doesn't come back.
I see why you
take
leave
your ass
home and
to
don't
sleep.
come back.
And I will leave
why
your ass
don't you leave home and come back? Why will my husband
you work on your house?
Your ass in the street.
Try to keep him at home.
Shamia,
How about that?
Shamia, let's talk about the Falcons or the Hawks.
I'm a great host.
Host?
Yes.
Why you sticking around so long, baby?
Oh my God, because
why
it
you
pays
sticking
well.
around? It don't.
And you probably should get one of those jobs because that real
Men.
estate ain't working for you.
I have multiple businesses. The men pay well. You're in
Somebody
the
that's
K
not going to
chorus.
continue a conversation.
You're in the K chorus.
Sasquatch.
Leave.
You and your size
That's
12. You
enough
should be
to
wearing
walk all over your ass.
You should not be wearing
all
this right
over
here.
your Why?
You can kiss this ass.
No, what? You're not my type with your fake ass.
Ooh, you're not my type with your fake. And if you're listening to the podcast version, this is where you got to watch the YouTube version because I'm in here miming and mimicking and chucking and jiving. All right. But Shamia says that she was asked to leave, y'all. She was asked to leave. All right. Let me move on because we got to get to our callers. Guys, you're just joining us. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to our cause, our fundraiser. 100% of your donation is going to the center as a part of our Pride Month fundraiser. All right. So be sure to check that out. All right. Before we get to our callers, let's get into this ad. We got to pay the bill. Shout out to Baskin Lather for sponsoring. It's been over a month since I started using Baskin Lather. Not on my head, on my beard, of course. You guys have been complimenting me on the difference in my beard, but what I've also loved is hearing your personal stories with Baskin Lather and how it's helped you with dryness, with your alopecia, whatever it may be. And I want to keep hearing your stories, so feel free to share them in the comments. But what I also love is that they have something for everyone. So if you are a guy with some hair, they have something for you. If you're a woman with hair, they have something for you. Nourish and hydrate from the inside out with 100% natural ingredients. A nourishing hair balm for curly or kinky hair that helps reduce hair breakage and adds shine. When used regularly, users have seen results in about 3 months. Made with ingredients that can penetrate hair strands without clogging pores, non-greasy formulation with no petroleum or lanolin. Keep any hair type soft, shiny, and hydrated. Combines aloe vera and avocado oil to reduce frizz, treat dryness, detangle, and redefine curls. Can be used in combination with other products for customized routine. And as always, I love supporting a Black-owned business. The CEO's younger sister was misdiagnosed by a dermatologist, and that inspired the company to take things into their own hands. And they've made not just a difference in their own lives, but so many other lives since. But of course, I know you've been waiting to hear about a discount. We've got you covered. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Baskin Lather. Go to baskinlatherco.com and use code Kempire for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskinlatherco.com, code Kempire. More information on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Thanks, Baskin Lather. Shout out to Baskin Lather. They're back here on the channel. Again, guys, more information on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Hold on, let me see some of your comments. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Keep liking the video. We have over 2,600 of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So thank you so much for being here, guys. And shout out to all of you that end up watching the replay. Your finance auntie, thank you for being a member. It says, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Says, Kim, why I look up on my TV and you're voguing? You should have been listening. And for those of that were here watching, I was voguing during that whole conversation between Shamia and Angela. Okay, and it's also Pride Month for your finance auntie. That's why I was voguing. Okay, ooh, all right, that's why I was voguing for Pride Month. Nicole, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Nicole says, I'm going to need the hobbits to leave Angela alone about her height. I'm 6 foot and a brick house. We carry a lot, front and back. Ooh! Angela is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. I don't love all of her styling choices, but I definitely think she's beautiful. Jay Cobb, thank you so much for being for the super chat. Jay Cobb says, Shamia is in these streets. Brit started to expose last year. Shamia went on a trip with Candy when her daughter just got out of cert. Wait, huh? I know she was on the birthday trip, but wait, huh? Her daughter just got out. Oh, I'm gonna leave it alone. But even before Britt Edie said that, people have said similar things about Shamia. That's been not a known like thing that she does, but in regards to a rumor that's been out there. Jacob says Shamia ran when Angela said Falcons and Hawks. She knows Angela has the real tea on her. Did her daughter really just have surgery and Shamia was out there? Okay. Look, I'm gonna give grace. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what the streets are saying. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so if you're a Team Kempire member, I've dropped the call link for you guys as well. Live chat, I will drop the call link for you guys. Let's get to 1,200 likes. I think that's fair, even though there's been over 2,600 of you watching this long live. And go Knicks! Mr. Malamaj said, not Candy again. Lord, everyone keep talking about Candy. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged. They also agree to abide by the timer, all right? Only 30 seconds. Okay, because now the back is filling up. I was going to give them a little bit longer, but now the back is filling up. All right, let's move on. Oh, the lighting in here shifted. Okay. Not Candy Coated Nights. All right, let me move on. Let me bring up our first caller. Our first caller is Cynthia. Cynthia, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How you guys doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine. You guys need to leave Shamia alone. I like Shamia.
Not you guys need to. Do not come up here and try and tell me I need to leave somebody alone. I ain't do nothing to Shamia. Shamia over here being cringy to us. Sorry.
And that's your Taurus sister, Kempire?
She is not my Taurus sister. She's actually my cringy sister.
Ain't she cringe?
Oh, now you call her cringe too? What?
She is cringe, but I like her.
Okay.
She's cringe, but I like her.
Okay.
Well, honestly, I really don't see why Angela and Shamia is fighting. It's corny to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This season is great. It's going good. And I cannot wait for the reunion.
Oh, that reunion.
It's going to be lit. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think this is the one reunion I'm excited for. Cynthia.
I'm excited about it too. This season was definitely better than last season.
Okay.
And that's it, Kempire. Thanks so much.
There ain't nobody you would get rid of this season?
Get rid of Pinky with her.
Really? No,
Yeah.
Pinky stays. Goodbye. Say Cynthia goodbye. We were just doing good.
Team Cancer.
Bye. All right, Keith's backstage. Keith, hold on. Oh, damn, Keith. Oh, I can shift people around if I wanted to shift people around. Oh, hold on. Sorry, there go Keith. Sorry, Keith.
Ooh.
I didn't realize.
No,
I didn't
it's
realize
fine.
you could shift people around. Oh, look,
Hey,
I mean, you learn.
Kempire.
Not what's going on.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. So first, there may be unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Angela, she's phony. You can't convince me otherwise because she calling Portia all types of whores in her confessional, but kissing her behind in person.
Oh,
Like, come on now. And Angela, she kind of remind me of Wendy Osefo a little bit, aka happy to be a part of the old lady gang. I mean, the cool girls.
ooh.
Um, but also, people were dragging Kelly and Pinky when they brought up a few of the lady laying on their back to get scratched. But apparently, Angela, it's okay for her to do it. Now, granted, the way she said it was witty, so that could also be a comparison. But
Mm.
nonetheless, I feel like the line is always moving depending on who the person is on the reciprocating end.
Hmm.
But also, I one last thing I did want to say that, mind you, we're supposed to be upset about Shamia showing text messages. Meanwhile, Portia was on TV laughing and giggling about Shamia having threesomes with Candy and Todd. All right, so I think that's a little bit more detrimental than showing a couple of text messages that doesn't even really show anything because we haven't even seen the text messages. Portia's seen the text messages, everyone else seen the text messages, but we haven't seen the text messages. And also, I have to say, can't Angela, I'm sorry, but she lost the moment she brought up Candy because she wasn't even on the show when Candy was on. Like, if you're going to be a fan, at least listen to Escape and not actually try to grasp for straws. But that's about it.
Ooh. All right. Thanks, Keith. All right. Live chat. Did I say 1,200? Yeah, I'm holding out. Let's get to 1,200 likes, and I'll drop the calling for you guys. If you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the calling for you guys. Let's bring up Toya next. Toya, what did you want to share about this episode of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I am good. I agree with the last caller completely.
Okay.
There is no reason why Drew and Angela can forgive Portia, but not Shamia. Is it because Portia is the fan favorite and the face of the show?
Mm.
It's very much so giving opportunists and playing the long game. Also, a few episodes ago, like the caller said, everyone was mad at Kelly for saying that Angela slept on her back, and now Angela's saying the same thing to Shamia. That's not fair. At least Shamia's man can fund her dreams and her lifestyle. We have not seen Charles. He couldn't pay for not one of those foreclosed homes. And Charles is a washed up NBA player that probably spent most of his salary on them legal fees. Can he even go see the Knicks at the Garden? Can he?
Don't say Charles
They
Oakley
play
is
on
washed
Wednesday,
up, though.
That's a good question.
You can't say that he's washed up, and
And
no,
also,
he can't go to
but he
see the
don't
Knicks
got the
play,
coin.
huh?
He don't got the coin, so he don't got the coin anymore because he should have helped his wife if he did,
Well, she didn't want it to take his
right?
help.
But didn't she ask him for money for her new venture? She's so self-made. What has she made? What has she made?
She does have
Anybody
other
tell me?
businesses that they don't talk about on the show.
Oh, okay, sure.
Ooh.
We still wait. Where are the fans?
Oh,
The fans that should have been available to sell at Bravo Kempire. And
well,
she's calling Shamia's booty fake, but her nose ain't real.
well, technically her nose is real. Look, technically her nose is real. It's just shaped different now. Like nothing was added to the nose. Anyway, we're not gonna go
Well, we
there.
don't know what was added to Shamia's booty.
Ooh.
She may have just gotten it sculpted, just
Oh,
like Portia did. Portia had junk in the trunk, but she didn't have all that junk. You
all
know
right.
the girls add a little bit. Kim Kardashian did too.
I don't know the girls add a little bit. I don't know what you're talking about.
They be adding a little bit, Kempire. They be tweaking.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right, Toy, thank you so much for calling in. Your time been up.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Toy called in to argue with me from her T-Mobile phone. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Calm down. Calm down. All right. Dainty says Charles is still a millionaire and still he's not washed up either. Okay. Oh, Lord. All right. I kind of do hope that Charles is able to go back to the Garden so that he can watch the Knicks win. I mean, that's my hope. Just saying. Coco says, Kemp, not too much on T. I'm joking, y'all. Calm down. I might be a T-Mobile user soon. Just saying. All right, let's move on. Let me bring up Rue next. Rue from Euphoria. No.
Hi, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What did you want to say share
That's
about
good.
Atlanta?
So, a couple of things. Firstly, I need Kelly to get her mind together. Like, get your priorities straight. You can't take 70 grand to fix your teeth when your business is failing. Get that money and fix your business. Like,
Mm,
what is going on? And then, secondly, I need people to give Pinky a chance. I actually really like her, and I
me
think
too.
she's really good for the show. Like, just give her a chance. And then with K Michelle, man, I just feel like the call is coming from inside the house because these conspiracy theories are wild. I'm just like, what is going on? Where are you getting this from? You know?
Yeah.
And then I think the last thing that I just wanted to say is that I know people keep taking digs at Angela about we don't know your businesses and stuff, but a business being well known is not an indicator of it being successful.
Mm,
So I think people need to give her some space when it comes to that, you
yeah.
know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Thanks, Rue. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I have to 100% agree. And we also know that she has multiple businesses that they don't talk about on the show. This is a produced show. They're talking about her storyline. Her storyline is about her failure at real estate. But we know that she has actually a financial consulting business and other businesses beyond that. So that's not her own. And she also said last season that when she met Charles, she was already a millionaire. So I don't know her business like that, but I do know what has been shared on the show. Okay. Lady Q's backstage. Lady Q, what's going on? Are you a Knicks fan? Lady Q, you're muted. Lady Q. Lady Q. Hello. You're muted, Lady Q. All right, got to drop you down, Lady Q. I'll come back to you. D. Nicole's backstage and bring D. Nicole up next. D. Nicole, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
I'm gonna be quick because I'm in the office, so I can't walk away.
Oh.
But Shamia is still very much cringy, but I do feel for her when it comes to her journey with surrogacy and all that.
Mhm.
I still feel like Gerald is not considering how it's affecting her.
Yeah.
And Angela won that argument. I don't care.
Yeah.
Hands down, Angela tore her up, but she did look good. She looked beautiful. That body is tea.
Yeah.
Kelly, again, this t-shirt dress, madam.
It's Tom Ford.
I don't. Okay, sure, Morgan, but regardless, you got this man paying $70K for some teeth, for some teethuses, but he couldn't pay for that business to stay open. Okay, just saying. But her saying she could 6'7" Portia, girl. Okay, pipsqueak.
Oh, not
That's it.
Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak. Bye.
Thanks so much, D. Nicole. If you are on Twitch, watching us on Twitch, I did drop the call link for our Twitch users. Live chat, we haven't even gotten to 1,100 likes. Did I say 1,200 likes? Yep. I'm going to stick to 1,200 likes because y'all been saying I've been too soft on y'all. Y'all been here for over almost 2 hours watching, and you haven't liked the video yet? Really? All right. Blanche says, as an NBA fan, calling the Charles Oakley washed up is insane. That's what I have to say. And I'm not even a big basketball fan, and I know he's not washed up. I do know that he's still banned, though, from Madison Square Garden. Hopefully they can lift that ban, especially if the, now that the Knicks have gone to the, I'm going to say the playoffs, the finals. OMG. All right. Let's hopefully they win. All right. Let me try Lady Q again. Lady Q, are you there? You're muted, Lady Q. Lady Q. I can't help you. This will be the last time I'm going to try. All right. All right. Let me bring up Demi next. Demi, what did you want to share?
I would like to, what I think is debunk the idea that Kelly got someone to pay for her teeth.
Oh, okay.
Here's why I think I know this is not true.
Okay.
If you're coming out of the Atlanta, I was in Atlanta, you're coming out of the Atlanta airport, like you're coming to the Delta side, like you're exiting through, there is a billboard of like a dentistry clinic, and her picture is featured on there.
Oh.
I don't think it sure is. Anyone that's coming to and fro Atlanta, please take a picture of it. I'm not making this up. Not making it up. If you're coming out the exit with like the glass panel doors, even if you're coming to check your bag in the Delta, so behind the Delta check-in, on the side where like I guess security is, there is her photo there with the dentistry clinic attached to it.
So this was
If
a
it's gonna have
sponsored.
money, I don't think so.
So this was a
Sorry.
sponsored post.
I believe it was.
That
I
makes
believe it was
sense.
when I saw it.
Wow.
If I can get someone to send take a picture of it for me, I will send it to you.
Thank
Give me a
you.
couple days. I have friends.
Thank you, Demi. Wow.
No problem. And that's all I want to say. It's obvious. I mean, she can't. Come on, she closing businesses. She wants some money on your teeth. You work about your kids. Come on, you can get teeth done. Doesn't make any sense. It had to be sponsored.
And
But
poor
all right.
and poor Cha still walking around looking raggedy.
Yeah.
All right.
So that doesn't add up. But yeah, I'll get the photo for you and
Thank
you check
you,
it out with your sources. I know you know everybody. So.
Oh, thanks, Demi.
Have a great one.
You too. Here's the thing. Why would you say that on a reality show when you know that your picture is going to be all around Atlanta as a sponsored post? Yeah, because it does. I believe what Demi's saying. I believe that this was a sponsored post, and she wanted to make it seem like this man is paying for it. So now I'm starting to think that the diamond necklace that he gave was fake. All right. Noda Queen's backstage. We'll bring Noda Queen up next. Noda Queen, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? I think all I wanted to really talk about is Pinky. She's growing on me. Like,
okay.
And the whole time I found her annoying, but I never thought like she needs to go because certain people are necessary. But I feel like now that she's kind of stepped back and is like forming her own opinions and friendships and stuff like that, she's doing a better job. I do want to see more from Pinky. And I'm glad Phaedra said what I've been thinking about Kelly for a while about her sweet chariot because
they hang low.
She is just misproportions is right. Like everything is too big on her. She put too much big stuff on her tiny little frame. The chest is too big. The butt is too big. The cheeks are overfilled. The lips are overfilled. Take something out. Take something out so we can see your torso. That's why she looks crazy and everything. And I hope she hears that from Phaedra because she said it in a not nicer way than I would.
Well, damn. All right. Thanks, Noda Queen.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. My Lord. So wait, did she get her breasts done? She says she doesn't wear a bra. Is that why she doesn't wear a bra? Because she got her breasts done, so they're like naturally lifted? I don't know. Danny says, I knew it was a lie when I heard 70K. Born to Win's backstage. We're going to bring Born to Win up next. Born to Win, what do you want to share?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm leaving my desk at work. Okay. It's been a while, so I just wanted to check in here. I'm with you when it comes to Angela. She is like chef kiss. Like I love Angela. I think she definitely does remind us about the old like housewife days.
Yeah.
When it comes to Kim Michelle, yeah, same here. Very disappointed in her existence on the show. Definitely, I do believe that she has a lot of mental, emotional, just some things that just haven't been dealt with. It's almost like I feel sorry for her, especially when she broke down at the table last episode, just like sitting with everyone in the morning. You could tell she wanted to say what she wanted to say, but again, there's a lot of pain there, and I think sometimes it's a little misplaced, especially right now with this group of ladies that she's around. So hoping, she takes care of that, because definitely not for the fame you want to make, go ahead and mess up your mental and emotional health like that for the sake of the show. Anyways, and yeah, can't wait to watch last night's episode, because I haven't seen it yet, to see how Angela handled Shamina. Yeah, I do think she do be in these streets. And yeah, she's gonna lose her husband, because I hate to say I'm from West Africa, and I know that Gerald's from Kenya. So a lot of African men, they take, not to say other men do not take their wife with pride, but I do believe she keep moving the way she's moving on this show. Yes, her marriage will be done in the next year or so. So yeah. So,
all right.
Hate to say it. All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, Born to Win. All right. We have a few more people that are backstage. Let me try Kiana. Hold on. Kiana, are you there?
Can you hear me, Kempire?
Now I can.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, because I got to try to keep this really brief.
Okay.
Shamia, I think someone had mentioned about when she went on vacation. What happened was 3 years ago for Candy's birthday, Shamia's baby had surgery. She was in the hospital. Shamia that came out the hospital and jumped on a boat and went to Turks. That's when Candy had that Candy Turks and Turk's thing going on.
Okay.
So that's why, and people got on Shamia about that. But again, that's to each his own. I'm a little confused with Shamia because Shamia doesn't need this show.
Yeah.
And it's, she really doesn't. And I think that her wanting to step into that, I think part of it, I think she does want to be Candy a little bit. But again, you can't step into that role. Candy knew exactly how to handle it. Yeah. Shamia doesn't. The whole thing with her and Portia is sad because I hate to see friendships kind of dissolve after, being friends for over 30 years, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Kelly, she needs to go. Pinky's annoying because Pinky's going to try to fit in wherever she can. She does a little too much. She'd be a great addition if she scaled it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And Cynthia, I love Cynthia's role this year. I think it's refreshing to see, you can be a friend of and not give too much, but still be so seasoned that you know exactly how to play each part and each role.
Yep.
And that's it. Again, I'm just a little annoyed at the way the direction's going when it comes to Shamia, because Shamia, to me, she's in the back. She's like almost a puppet master. She's watching all this happen. She already spilled all Portia's tea to them, and that's why they all are. That's why Kelly's jumping out the way she is. And again, Shamia knows where all the bones are buried, pretty much.
Okay.
And that's the sad part, because when your friendship dissolves, I take the secrets with you. Again, but. All right, but that's all I have, Kempire. Thank you.
Thanks, Kiana. Take care. I mean, I'm interested because at the end of this episode, they showed the mid-season trailer. For those that want to know my thoughts on the mid-season trailer, I already did a video last week when the mid-season trailer dropped. So be sure to check that out. Mods, if we can just post the link to my mid-season trailer recap. So if you're missing my thoughts, you can also hear it on the podcast as well. But they showed the mid-season trailer. I'm trying to understand how the Shamia and Portia mom stuff even comes up, because they've been really trying their best. And if you see the preview for next week's episode, when Angela talked about her fight with Shamia, Portia excuses herself. She's like, I'm going to go use the bathroom. Because Portia's like, you're not going to get a grimace from me. You're not going to get a facial expression. You're not going to get anything from me during this conversation. Because they both have tried not to talk about each other during this season. Even in the fight between Angela and Shamia in this week's episode, she was just like, I'm not here to talk about Portia. So it's interesting to me how the mom situation even comes up during the Scotland trip. Like, how does that even, why are we now going there? But okay. Do you think they're going there just for a storyline? I mean, just, I know we love to say that, but do we think that's what's happening? Just asking. All right. Let me get to some more callers, guys. I am going to drop the call-in link because we are almost at 12. And look at me being a little softy, because technically I should have gotten off of here, but my appointment that I had was pushed back, so I can give a little bit more time. Okay, so if I'm giving you a little bit more time, can you give me a little bit more likes? Thank you. All right, and don't forget, guys, we are raising $10,000 this month for Pride Month. Ooh, okay, my ooh-hoo's getting a little lower because I've been talking a lot. We're raising $10,000 this month. Help us reach our week goal of $2,500. Donate. Go check out any of the last couple of videos. If you're watching a replay of this, you'll see it alongside here. After the live, I'll be adding it. All right. Tyrese, thank you so much for another super chat. Tyrese says, should K. Michelle get another season? I'm open to K. Michelle coming back next season, but I'm not happy about it. You know what I mean? I'm not really happy about it, because I just feel like she's being more divisive when it comes to the fandom than she is really bringing us together, because I believe she's creating drama that's not really there, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Makai's backstage. We're going to bring Makai up next. Makai, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
How you doing? Happy Pride.
You too.
What did I want to share? So specifically what I really wanted to share was, two things. Cynthia just did on Humble Brag podcast that the reunion is 2 weeks away. So I want to let you know that the reunion is going to film in 2 weeks, which is why Portia said, see you soon. I'm assuming. I was like, dang, that's kind of soon. So I'm wondering, is it going to be like a 16 episode season or something? Because that reunion's coming sooner than I thought.
Probably.
And what I really wanted to touch on from tonight's episode is Kelly needed them teeth done. I'm sorry. I was tired looking at her mouth. I was like, how you got all this work done, but your teeth still look a mess. I'm I'm not all. If somebody, I'm fine with people keeping their natural teeth. I love natural teeth. But if your teeth are commingling, like Angela said, I think it's time for you to, work on that. So I love Kelly, but she had to get them teeth done. I'm happy she did it. And as far as it comes to Pinky, I don't like this Pinky hate I'm hearing on your timeline. Kempire. It seems like people hating on my girl Pinky, and
Not me.
Pinky, not me. These past 2 weeks, Pinky has I'm starting to see Pinky's role, and honestly, I like how she fits in with this group. To me, she feels like she's assertive, and yes, she has a domineering voice, but she just is trying to get a hold to let the ladies all bring them together so we can all have a show. That's what I feel like Pinky is doing. And yes, she's gonna bring up these bankruptcies, but guess what? We haven't heard bankruptcy in 2 weeks, as she said on
You're
Twitter. So hey,
right.
two snaps for her for that. Two snaps for her. And as far as Cynthia loving her role as a friend of, she is really redefining it. I actually hope that you brought up a point earlier about maybe they'll bring Nene back as a friend of. I mean, I know she might not want to be back as a friend of.
Yeah.
It's Nene. But I wouldn't be mad at that because it kind of gives the Miami effect of having two OGs brought back as, well, Cynthia's not an OG. Let me correct myself. But two
Veterans.
in my world, two OGs, dang it. I'm gonna say it. Two OGs brought back as friends of how they do in Miami with Adriana and Marisol, and them just kind of steering the new girls in the best direction that they can, because a lot of these new girls need directions. K Michelle needs someone to steer her in the way to be a better housewife. I think K Michelle's a great reality TV star. She's making us tune into the show even more. She's got us so confused and so discombobulated that we are online all the time. But I do think she's a great reality TV star, just not a good housewife yet. And she can get there. She can get there. I have faith in her.
Okay.
And my last point on Shamia is Shamia, baby girl. I I'm rooting for you to. Here's one thing. When it comes to a verbal spar with Angela, I think her and Angela can go toe to toe. That's her best sparring partner right now, other than
Really?
Phaedra. I think she can go spar to spar with Angela. I think they're good sparring partners. However, she she really has to get it together. I'm gonna leave it at that. Those would be my nice words for her. Get it together.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Makai.
Thank you, Empire.
Bye. Okay. We're gonna bring up Angel next. Angel, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kempire. I just want to say that I thought the episode was probably like, I watched it twice. I went from a 7 to a 7.5, but I like how production is trying to remind everybody that Atlanta used to be that girl and they're reclaiming their spot soon with all the flashbacks, like the friendship contract. I hope that Shamia skips the reunion and exits the show, because she is not cut out for it. And then not only did we get the tacky twins, but we got the tall twins, because Angela had on the same dress that Cynthia had on at the lunch that she had with Portia and Pinky, and then Cynthia had it on or Angela had it on the next scene. So they need new fashion clothes to go shop at or something. But that's it. I just glad I got out of my meeting to call in. So have a good day, Kim.
Thanks, Angel. Take care. I will say this, and thank you, Angel, for reminding me. I forgot to mention the friendship contract, because that's something that K Michelle said to Portia. Like she's giving the friendship 48 hours. They have a new friendship contract. So Cynthia's like, not friendship contract, and they flash back to that. K Michelle is a big fan of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she knows all the things that have happened. And look, we know. Look, these are legendary moments from Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I'm just like, there's so many clues. Like, this woman has been watching and a fan of this show. But okay. All right. Let's bring up Cherished. There we go. What's going on, Cherished? You're muted. Cherished the people. You're muted still.
Can you hear me now, Kempire?
Now I can.
Okay, let me run this thing down to you again, like
Oh.
I had to do last week.
Oh.
First of all, the thing with Kelly and Portia. Girl, you're not in Portia weight class. Portia will stumble you. The thing with that is, and Portia need to be careful, because I don't trust Phaedra, I don't trust Angela, and I don't trust Shamia. The reason why I say that, because when you listen to their confessionals, how they be talking about Portia, and then they laughing in Portia's face, I think all three of them snakes. Shamia, you for the streets. Girl, you married. Every time you turn around, you want to show your body, and then you off on vacations. You never home with your children. Do you honestly think this man finna keep sitting up there providing your lifestyle and thinking that you're gonna keep doing this? Because I believe like this, if you don't have that son, that man is out of there. And the thing with Shamia, people want to say that Portia is jealous of Shamia. Portia is not jealous of Shamia. Shamia trying to do everything that Portia have done. Portia really don't want to be married to no man. Portia just want the money. That's it. Portia don't want that have no more children. I don't think she want to mess up her body. And the thing with Kelly, girl, you is a fool. You said you paid $70,000. Somebody gave you $70,000 to pay for those teeth. Girl, you got that thing on care credit. That man ain't gave you no $70,000 for no darn teeth. And if he did, he's a fool because the teeth don't look no better than what they did before you went in the office. And then the little necklace that you got on, he gave you. We don't know if it's Swarovski crystals or real crystals. I don't believe nothing about this relationship. And then you say Shamia introduced, and then y'all all kitty talking about we dressed alike. Like, girl, that's something that second graders do, kindergartners do. You come in, we dressed alike, and you told her out the door. This is some crazy, messed up stuff. Shamia is feeding all this stuff to these people because every time something happens, she sit back, she watch, she looks, and she know exactly how Portia is going to react. She want Portia to be violent so they can say Portia is violent to get her off the show. K. Michelle, you a flake. You always been a flake,
Now
and you
that's the
still acting
plot.
as a flake. And you sit up there and you friends with Portia this week. I think I'm not diagnosing anybody, but I think you bipolar. You be friends one week, then you come back and you say something else again. Now you talking about somebody talking about your toes. Girl, who looking at your feet? We can't even see your feet. So you somebody that's a plot on your feet. This is so ridiculous. I think, like you said, these things are inside of her head because there's nobody out here saying, girl, K. Michelle got long toes. Like, I would even mention that.
Now
I
we
think they
are.
all need therapy. I think they all need therapy. And like I said, Angela and Shamia. Yeah, Shamia got up out of there when Angela was bringing out her dirt. She flew up out of there when she said you was messing with these football players and all that. She got up out of there. She didn't stay in there. Because there's no way that I would think that Shamia just giving it up to Gerald every night. I don't believe it. Never will believe it. Because it's just not happening. And like I said, if she don't give up that son, he's out of there. But that's all I got, Kempire. You know I love you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Oh my god. She really let it. She let the clip out. Okay, she let the clip out. I didn't mention because I don't feel like this is because people are already going in on Gerald, but Angela did say she wants to call me Sasquatch, but look at who you're sleeping with. She said it. I didn't say it, Gerald. I don't believe that. I think you're probably a very sweet man, but she said it. Angela said it. Angela, wrong road. Leave him alone. All right, let's bring up Excommunicado. Excommunicado, what did you want to share?
Yeah, that was fast.
What's going on?
I would rather say Charles looks more like Sasquatch than Gerard, but okay. So am I finally being vindicated on the pinky love, or is something going on? Because it seems like you guys are late to the party.
I know you're not talking about me.
Well, I'll assume so, since it's your platform.
Go ahead.
For Michelle, I would say this. She has a lot of explaining to do at the reunion. But Drew posting on Twitter that these are the core four and then saying you don't fit in, those kind of gives me a thirsty and kind of plotting and planning to divide the group and eyes out some people who comment. Mm-hmm. For Angela, I love the way that they had you up here bobbing and weaving and trying to defend Angela with all of your arms and all of that. Because I'm not drinking as much of a Kool-Aid as you guys are, because I feel like she's the messy one that everyone thinks Shamia is.
We never said that she wasn't messy.
She's messy, she's mean, and she's also a liar.
Oh!
From last season and up to this season. Because she was pointing at Shamia for being the one telling Kim Michelle just because Shamia wasn't a tattletale like her who spilled what Kim Michelle told her. That was just a reason. And then the spar between her, I agree with the person who said Shamia is the one person that she can spar with and is a good sparring partner for her because she doesn't really have anything that she can come at Shamia against. Shamia is cringe and has her own personal issues, but with Angela really has nothing that she can come at Shamia with. That's why the only thing she's talking about is, oh, you are sleeping around to make money. But that makes no sense when she has a husband that has all the money and doesn't even want her to be on this show or to do movies because he can take care of her. So what is she sleeping around to make money for? That doesn't add up to me. And then the whole lapdog comment is kind of overused at this point, and especially doesn't make any sense when it seems like you have replaced Shamia on Portia's lap, because what exactly is your issue with Shamia? Shamia asked you that straight up. What is your issue? And then she goes into you are not the victim. What exactly is your issue? She didn't answer that question. And then she's on social media telling Shamia keep the same energy, but you are the one in the confessionals bopping and throwing jabs at Portia, but on her face you are all smiling and doing all of this shit. And I'm like, really, I see Angela a lot differently. She's still great for the show. Don't get me wrong. She's perfect for the show.
Oh
But I
yeah.
see her a lot differently than what everyone there seems to give. And then also the double standards that when Angela says one thing is iconic, but when the Kelly or Shamia says the same thing, is like, oh, why would you say that it's body shaming? When Angela was telling Shamia 2 weeks ago, turn around, your booty or your body is your problem. Nobody thought that was body shaming. But right now, everybody's like, oh, Shamia is body shaming and stuff like that.
What
But
what what has what has Kelly or Shamia said that you would consider iconic?
that I would consider iconic. I'm not saying that they're iconic. I can't
Oh.
think of the because I have to watch this episode just of the. But for this power alone, I would say this for me, Shamia won that.
Oh,
Shamia,
okay. That's a
yeah,
hot take.
because because if you watch that, Shamia was totally calm and relaxed all through that spa. She was sitting with her legs crossed from the moment she came in. And I looked at it because I felt like, okay, at the beginning, she came in looking for an understanding, but Angela was already kind of um giving some kind of vibe because she came in, she said hello to you, she paid you a compliment. You didn't Your response was kind of stank. You didn't even give her a compliment back or anything. So it already seemed like Angela was already kind of up there. And Shamia crossed her leg and clasped her hands. And she was that way all through while dishing out jabs and everything at Angela, while Angela was pointing and poking and gesticulating and trying to bring in Candy that she's never met into the conversation, bringing up Portia. And I'm like, why do you guys keep wanting to get Shamia to talk about Portia? Portia is your friend right now. You are the one in the clique with Portia. So why don't you and Drew ask Portia, your friend, about what are issues with Shamia? Why do you keep going to Shamia, who is not your friend, to get her to talk about Portia?
Mm.
So I see a lot of these things, and I'm just like, Angela, your hands really ain't clean. Your hands really ain't clean, and you're the one doing all of these things behind, and you are trying to make Shamia the main one, the messy one, and all of that. But it's you stirring all of these spots, and you're the one actually being all of this. But and if she's the one trying, always like calling people out their name and all of that. But then when people start calling her Bigfoot or whatever, they're all
Sasquatch.
they all Sasquatch and all of that, then it's a big problem. But when you are calling her Shamina, Shamesi, and all of this and all of that, is like, please, please.
Okay. You
I
make
love Angela. And
look,
she's
you make
perfect for this.
valid points. I have to say, you make a good argument. So I'm glad you called in because we need balance with what we're talking about. So thank you so much for calling in, excommunicado.
Sure. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. And I mean that. This is, you guys, if you're not new here, then you already know we love hearing the differing or unpopular opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with the majority of the community. It's all about how you share your opinion. You see how he came here and he shared his opinion. He made some valid points. I'm like, well, you know what, baby? I'm listening. I'm going to keep an open mind. Let's see what Tyler has to say. Tyler's gone all the way from Memphis.
Ooh-wee.
Mm-mm.
I have a lot to say.
Okay, there's no
Let me
timer.
say
Go ahead. You're
this.
going to be our last caller.
I have clocked Angela's tea since day one. And let me say this. Angela, I'm not a huge fan of Shamia's either, but I feel like your issue is misguided. And I feel like these girls are not intellectual enough where this is where I do miss a Kenya Moore. Because see, if she would have sparred with Kenya Moore, she would have clocked Angela right then and there. I would have told Angela, stay off Twitter. You see that the fans don't like you going against Phaedra or Portia, so you pivoted and you want to make your issue with me. See, that's all Shamia had to say. And once she said you're trying to act like Candy, okay, you're on Twitter again. I would have continued
She really is on
to
Twitter,
clock
though.
the fact that you are reading every comment that the Twitter people are saying, and you're playing into that. Because Angela, let me say this: there's no way positively that I could sit in Portia's face, knowing that she is known to sleep with people's husband, and she personally said it, and you sitting over there kissing her tail, and you're trusting Phaedra after all this stuff has happened. Angela, you're playing into the fact that everybody was all up your tail at first and loved you until that situation happened with Phaedra. and the fans switched on you because Phaedra is loved by the fans regardless. And so now you're going to play on that side and go against Shamia because the fans did not like her. Shamia, you need to get somebody in your corner that knows how to read. Put the corny stuff to the side and call one of your good Judys and tell them to clock Angela, because that's the only way you're going to be able to get her, because that's the truth. She has an issue with you because it fares better with the fans. And the problem now, K. Michelle said something true in an interview. She said the problem with Shamia is everybody wants her to be that girl, but she does not recognize it. And that is the problem. That is the problem. If the Shamia that showed up, I'm going to say this, the Shamia that showed up with Angela, I like that Shamia. If that Shamia had been there since day one to clock these girls, and I hope she brings that at the reunion or whatever, because Portia, you're not going to play victim. You brought up the situation with the mothers first. Don't act like Shamia said something vicious and vile. We never would have known this had you not put it on Instagram last year and brought up the situation. So if she returned, served, oh well, because you shouldn't have never brought up their mothers. And what also is irritating me, I love Cynthia, and I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this. Sorry. Cynthia, you have clearly chosen a side, girl. I'm sorry. You have. Cynthia, because when they were clocking things that Portia has done, all I've seen her do is her try to be capable. Portia fed you there. And y'all have made a pact. You, Phaedra, and Portia, and somewhat Drew have made a pact to be friends. Now, K. Michelle is feeling the right thing, but she's expressing it wrong. And it's getting on my nerves. That's why I want another OG there who can kind of, not Kenya, because she would stir the mess. Nene actually would be perfect for what's going on. Not full time, but like when they're cash trips trying to get everybody together, because she wouldn't have played sides. Cynthia does flip flop a little bit. And to be fair, I was on Kelly. Kelly and Shamir are just annoying. Honestly, if it was anybody else about those rooms, I would have been on their side. But it's that they're annoying. Just being for real. Cynthia is clearly up Portia's butt. And I'm sorry, I see it or whatever like that. And at the
I mean, that's
reunion,
our
Cynthia needs
boss.
to be checked. Huh?
That's our boss. She's a go naked
Exactly. And Portia
influencer.
is very strategic in how she's moving. But I can say this, and I do feel this in my spirit. I feel like when the reunion comes, that Angela is not going to get the response that she thinks she's going to get from the fans. Because if you look on Twitter right now, it's more in Shamia's favor than it is in Angela's, because a lot of people feel like, girl, you went too far. What issues do y'all have that are that deep for you to do that? As far as Portia comes, I do feel as though K. Michelle has some receipts on her, and I don't think that she's lying about Drew or whatever happened, because Portia, y'all made the point. Y'all said Drew does look up people and she makes up stuff. I just don't get the motive. Okay, she does it. And let's not forget, at the beginning of the season, she was literally saying, I mean, who is she? Does she still sing and do all that? True, you've been preparing. K. Michelle, you just should have shut up and let it happen. And I'm like, girl, shut up and let it happen. Drew is an easy read, but it's sad that you so forgettable. People think that Portia, and a lot of fans think Portia and K. Michelle are beefing, and it's supposed to be Drew and Portia. Like,
I mean, they were
Drew, I'm
beefing at one
sorry.
point. They definitely were
Yeah,
beefing.
but not that deep. The real issue is with Drew and K. Michelle. But Drew, you are so forgettable. I love you, but I don't advocate. I think this cast is perfect in a sweet spot. But if I were to say anybody needs to go, honestly, just in my opinion, it's not necessarily Drew. I want another OG to be there, and I would like for Phaedra to go ahead and exit. I don't
Did
feel
you see what
like
she said this week? Phaedra was just like, Kelly's boobs are like a sweet chariot. They hang low.
here's the thing, Kempire, with Phaedra, and then I'll wrap it up here. Here's the thing with Phaedra. I feel like story could move forward, but it does not, because Phaedra gives me that she makes phone calls behind the scenes and
Oh.
then she sits there and you can tell Phaedra's hand is not clean in most of this beef. Yes, she puppeteers behind the scene, and she amps up Portia. And that's facts. And I want to see if Portia is really this star and y'all are paying her, it's time for Portia to go at it alone. Can you do it without a minion? I need to see you anchor without a minion. I mean, we've seen the greats do it. We seen Nene do it when everybody was against her or whatever. She still came season 12 or whatever like that. By the end of the season, everybody loved her. Even though things went bad with Bravo, still, I need to see Portia go at it alone. I feel like these minions around her, they know that people don't like Shamia. And to be fair, I'm sorry, I get it. She's cringy or whatever like that. But do I want Shamia to go? No. I just want the Shamia that showed up with Angela that needs to show up with all the girls. Period. But I want to see Portia without Phaedra, without somebody having a boost in her back. Can you go at these girls alone? Because Portia plays very strategic. There have been several girls who have talked about how not Phaedra, how Portia calls behind the scenes and want people gone. Because wasn't she the one behind the alliance with Nene? How all that lawsuit stuff started? Season 12, Kenya and Candy clocked her and said it's mighty strange how she's at the reunion on Nene's side, but she was the main one who said that she did not want her to come back and didn't want anybody dealing with her. And then she didn't want Marlo to come back the next season because Marlo was going to bring up her marriage. Portia, you do slick stuff. You do. But now you got PR and you know how to spell your name and you know to put a period at the end of a sentence. So you think you that girl. But that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. Wow. See, this is why I will remain blocked by Portia. I should do a t-shirt like that. Should I do a t-shirt? Blocked by Portia. Blocked by Portia. Blocked by Anita Baker. Blocked by Tamar Braxton. I'm not blocked by Tamar on Instagram though. I'm not blocked by Portia on Twitter, but she don't log in there often. Guys, thank you so much for 1,300 likes. This is our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, we are raising money this month for Pride Month for the center. They do amazing work, and 100% of your donation goes to the organization. When you're watching a replay of this, you'll see it somewhere along the right side, left side of your screen. Be sure to donate what you can. Thank you so much, LLL, for the super chat. LL says, I think we should give Shamia some grace for her first and current. What? For both seasons? He says, Drew didn't do well on her first or second season, and now look. Let me go back. Also, Angela is a fave, but it's not okay for her to keep picking on Shamia. Okay. All right. Destination Surprise. Sunrise, thank you so much for the super chat. Destination says, I hate that the show is so gutter and grimy. Married women attacking each other for being 304s and sleeping around is lowbrow. Where is the fun? Well, Excommunicado, thank you for the super chat. Excommunicado, lastly, I'm surprised Shamia hasn't blocked you. Why? What have I said? What have I done? What have I done to Shamia besides speak about my thoughts about the show? I'm not in her comment section. I am speaking my thoughts. Let me see if I'm blocked. Look. No, last time that I was on here, she was in the comment section. So I don't think I'm blocked yet. Hold on. Let me see. Shamina. Nope, I'm not blocked. Here I is. Hey, Shamia, you look great. I should like her last picture. Right? Let me like her last picture. Bloop. I like the last picture. Her outfit. Okay. All right. Miss Mellon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Miss Mellon says, I don't trust Kay leak Michelle. She continues to search for moments like Kelly's dog is searching for someone to call me. Wait, because I know the audio is going to be like, wait, what did he say? I don't trust Kay leak Michelle. She continues to search for moments like Kelly's dog is searching for someone to call PETA. A mess. Dion says, tell us what you did to Anita Baker. I don't know what I did to Anita Baker. I don't know if it was a story I covered. This was years ago. She's blocked me on Twitter. Not on Instagram, though. And people say it could be her team. I don't know. I don't know what I said, but I'm blocked by Anita Baker. Let me see if I'm still blocked. Please hold. Let's see who I'm still blocked by. That gotta go. Let me see. Let me see if I am still blocked by the Anita Baker. Blocked by better, right? Anita Baker. Let me see. Anita. Let me see. Still blocked. Oh, wait, no. I'm not blocked anymore. At least I don't think so. It says these posts are protected. Let me see if I try and follow her. Oh, no, I'm blocked still. I'm still blocked because I try to follow her because I guess she closed her tweets. I try to follow her and it says blocked. Cannot follow this user at this time. Please try again later. No, I can't follow again later. Blocked, y'all. Look, I wish I really cared, but I don't. I don't know why I'm blocked by Anita Baker, but I am. Mech Mill, thank you so much for the super chats. They say, not they don't look any better. Laughing, best caller. Lord have mercy. Thank you so much, Mech, for the super chat. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you to everyone that's liked the video. We have over 2,000 of you here, though. Can we get to 1,500 likes? Can we get to 2,000 likes? If you're watching a replay of this, be sure to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. If you're listening to this on the Kempire Podcast, the King of Pop Culture, be sure to subscribe and be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And don't forget, I dropped a lot of new content over the weekend, so be sure to check that out on the podcast exclusively. And make sure you're following me on all socials, Instagram, X, TikTok. Everything is The Kempire. Because I'm giving you a different experience there. So be sure to follow me there. Fox said, whoa, Kempire, still blocked. Okay. Kendra says, no sweet love for you. I'm okay with that. Did she ever show up for that concert? And that's why you're blocked. No, I was blocked years ago before all that stuff. So I don't know. It's okay. I really don't care. All right. I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps. Thank you to everyone that patronizes our sponsors. All of our sponsor information will be available in the description. Don't forget, we're raising $10,000 this month. Our goal this week is $2,500 for the center that's doing amazing work for the LGBT community, for the community in general. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. After the live, you'll see it available here for the replay group. But if you go to any of my last couple of videos, you will see a link to our monthly fundraiser, okay? Help us get to $10,000. Kendra says, laughing my A off, Kemp, this live was fun. Isn't it always? I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Real Housewives of Rhode Island recap. I got to rewatch that episode because that was all over the place. All over the place. But the season finale is coming up for Real Housewives of Rhode Island. And the reunion, I believe, begins on June 14th. So it's a short season. I much rather keep it short because I'm already over what they're talking about over there. Okay, and it's a good show, but yeah. Danny says, Anita Baker is problematic behind the scenes, apparently. Yeah, there's all kinds of stories about Anita. All right. Even K. Michelle has a story about Anita, but not a bad one, a good one. All right. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next one. This wasn't a 3-hour one, but it was 2.5. No, it was good. It's good. All right. Ooh. Love is Mimi says, new teeth over your college student needing a car and you have failed business. Make it make sense. Good intel in the Atlanta airport advertisement, right? Yeah, so I don't think he really did pay the $70,000 because apparently it might have been a sponsored post because there's a picture of her at the dentist's office at the Atlanta airport. That's what we heard for those that might be just joining us. Wow. Ooh, Bossy says, Anita Baker, I'll say allegedly, is very problematic. I know someone who worked for her, and they said that she was a real meanie. I don't think that's hard to not to believe, but yeah. But anyway. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody. Here we go now.